This week, a massive bomb went off within the comics industry that will probably have ripple effects for the foreseeable future, of which it's very difficult to predict what will even happen as a result. Marvel Comics experienced layoffs that saw them lose key names in their company. The most important, there were editors lost, um, various people, but I think most importantly, Marvel Comics lost David Gabriel.
Hmm.
If you don't know that name or you don't know the significance of his being laid off, we are going to get into all of that, including what this could mean for the future of Marvel here this week on the Comics Pals. And to have this conversation, of course, we've got Marco,
Celsius.
Oh my god.
Tyler,
I need a Celsius. I need some energy in me right now.
and the guest panelist of the day, the first guest panelist of the month, and someone who I am always, always honored and privileged to have join us. We've got the writer of such books like Tales of Mystery, Hope, Nightmare World, Twisted, Haunted Highons, Butts and Seats with Tony Schiavone. The list goes on and on and on. We are here with 20-year veteran, publisher of Source Point Press, Dirk Manning.
Fahrenheit.
Hey, let's
Hey.
go. All right.
There you go.
I appreciate when someone meets me there.
I
Thank you,
got,
Dirk.
hey man, I got you. I want to set the bar early that's what we're going to be doing today.
Okay. All right.
Hell yeah.
Someone
Appreciate
flipped the
somebody.
script already.
Yeah, I appreciate somebody already down for the bit this early. That's good.
Dirk, how you feeling this morning?
And I'm just going to say what we said off the air. It's like, what a week. What a week. There's so much going on in the comic space and things like that, and I always look forward to getting to chop it up with you guys, but what a week. But no, I'm excited to be here. I have so much love for all you guys. Thank you for having me. Thank you to everybody out there as well. And yeah, well, let's Saturday morning, the routine, the tradition. Let's talk comics.
You know what that means. Yeah, there's a lot to get into. Thank you for being here, whether you were live or in the future. Smash that like button if you enjoy what we tend to do. We are going to have a busy, incredible show as always, and a little bit later on, we're going to talk to Dirk Manning about what's going on at Source Point Press, another publisher who we're going to check in with today, and it may be a holiday today.
Huh?
It may be WrestleMania Day.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're going to talk maybe a little bit about that later as well.
Merry TKO, miss.
I would honestly say bah humbug about TKO, but hey. Jet X has been a channel member for 9 months at the VI Pal tier. Thank you so much, Jet. 9 months of member, been around since October of 2024. Time flies when hanging out with the pals. PSA chat, join the Discord. We have a lot of fun over there. Boy, oh boy, could I not agree with Jet anymore. I jumped on the Discord voice chat at like 11:50 last night
What are they
and
doing?
started laughing by 11:51.
What are they doing in there?
Chilling.
Yapping.
I'll get like an ad and be like, hey, here's a new Tyler emoji. And it's just someone memeing me. And I'm like, geez, the fuck you fuck me for? Like,
Hey, look, man, your vibe finds your tribe, and
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Tyler, you're just maybe a very memeable person, and there's worse problems to have than that,
I
right?
think some people would take offense to that, but I take that's praise in my eyes, so I appreciate that.
That's what I'm saying, right? That's
Yeah.
real. As a guy that for 23 years, my avatar, my publicity photo has been something that I don't normally present as. That's high praise to be memeable. As yourself, nonetheless.
Tyler, there's like 5 or 6 memes of me.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, and I might have made some of them.
Yeah.
Handcrafted.
Yeah,
But does it count if you meme yourself? That's
you
the real
can't meme
question.
yourself. That's like giving yourself a
Right.
nickname.
I
That's what I'm saying. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Tyler's saying he made them. I feel like the majority of them have come from the audience clipping some shit I did.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. You
Right.
just kind of take that.
I think
I
I
just
might
want
have
to
made
set
the
the
intro
baseline.
ones. Yeah, and then it kind of spiraled out of there.
Right. So don't be out there memeing yourselves, people. Like you said, giving yourself a nickname. You don't do that. You just
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It
if
doesn't
you
work
become memed.
for years, Dirk. I was trying to find a catchphrase.
Mm.
For years, force it. Memeable moments. Do me. Notice me. It doesn't work.
Right.
It-
No. It's got to be organic.
Yeah,
It's got
I
to be
heard
organic.
if you keep memeing yourself, you might go blind.
It's also difficult to meet women when you go up to them and say, do me," like Marco does.
That's how I do it. Actually, it doesn't work out. It's like please no.
That's ineffective.
Please, senpai.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah, when you approach girls with that energy, it tends
Yeah.
to backfire.
I
But
just
hey,
start
what do I
crying
know? Marco
immediately.
has a fiance and I don't. So
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
we've got a lot to get into. So let's waste no time. The leading story this week in the comics industry, reported on by most of the websites of merit. Some of them haven't been able to get their article out quite yet, but the Beat's Heidi McDonald reports that there are massive layoffs across Marvel. Now, it's worth saying up front that this is not that these layoffs started from the top. Disney fired over 1,000
Yeah.
workers. Many of them coming from the Marvel studio side of things.
Mhm.
That whole that whole company, that division was just rocked.
It was
Um
VFX, right?
the
Yeah.
visual effects department.
I've got words about that when we get there, but
Yeah,
Mm.
they really ravaged them badly. And they're down to what reports describe as essentially a skeleton crew,
Mm.
which
Damn.
is scary.
8% of total employment there, like
Yeah.
within the Disney, which is wild to think.
Now, of course, they're saying that they are trying to get leaner and more efficient. I don't know how that can be how can be more efficient to have that many less workers on your team of visual effects when you're making just this year alone 2 extremely effects heavy films, those being, of course, Doomsday and Spider-Man.
I think it's a couple of things. All of this is because Josh Tomorrow is a new CEO, and anytime a new CEO comes in, they start chopping. It's just standard at this point. But I think with the VFX side of things, it's very anti-worker, and not just because everyone's fired, but um, it's because they know they can just hire people freelance for VFX. They don't need in-house anymore. They don't need a team to salary. They can hire people per job, per project. Like there will be jobs out there. Like it's not like Disney will not have VFX. They will. They'll just freelance it, and they can pay less benefits. I mean, they're very against paying benefits. They just moved. Marvel Studios just moved a whole bunch of their production to Europe, where they filmed Spider-Man instead of the U.S., where they were mostly doing it in like Georgia and Atlanta, right? Because paying healthcare in the U.S. is expensive from an employer. They don't have to do that in Europe.
Right. And on top of that, one of the workers, and I didn't double check this source, but I read one of the articles. One of the workers kind of said the quiet part out loud. They said, "Hey, they're going to be moving to more and more AI."
Yeah.
Which again, I'm not in Marvel Studios illustration department. I don't know what the or, visual effects. I don't know what they're going on there. But one of them came out apparently and said, "Look, they're looking to do more and more stuff AI as well," which obviously as someone that creates comics and things like that, I don't think I need to make my stance any more clear on that than it should be. But the irony that they were in a conference room with one of their paintings on the wall when they got the news,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's just it's savage, and it it's I don't even I don't even have a word big enough to talk about just how crushing this is to me as a creative person, that this is what they're doing, that one of the largest entertainment studios in the world is saying, yeah, we got enough. We got enough reference material. We don't, like you said, maybe we don't need to pay these people livable wages to create art that we've made billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars off of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of concept artists from what I read, right? That were, and I know concept art has been a lot of talk about AI replacing that or influencing that area.
Mm.
Because it's not
Yep.
final product, so your final product isn't AI. So people think like it's
Right.
a fine use of the tool, Marco. Um, and those people, yeah, or fired literally in front of their own art.
Yeah.
And that field is harder and harder. Like I don't expect Marvel to be doing like AI green screen effects and like the actual end result of the movie being AI.
Right.
Marvel is not doing that in the
Right.
immediate. But it's a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that I can definitely see them cutting and finding AI substitutes or less workers who then adjust the AI and have to work with that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Prompt masters and whatnot. And a few months back, even the disillusion of the Sora and Disney uh that would have been combination there. So you can definitely, I think, more confidently say it is because of the AI directive and direction overall. They're trying to find ways to cut costs, maximize profit. It feels like a grab for the bottom dollar at the
Oh yeah.
expense of people who need the bottom dollar.
Yeah. I personally know storyboard artists who are having the same thing happening. They're like, well, you know what? We're good. We can do this on AI. We can do this on A1. We can do this with Al, and it's the lack
Say
of,
Al,
yeah, yeah,
not the weird one though.
um the I think one of the huge ripple effects creatively we're going to see as a result of this, and I heard Alan Moore say this years ago, and this is one of those things that once I heard it, I can never unhear it. He talked about in a different context the human setipification of art and culture, right? Now, for those of you that don't know what the human centipede is, it's a
Oh,
little too, yeah, 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 there you go. I can see the
got
look
it.
on your
Yeah,
face. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Right, right.
I always want to
You
be
know,
the middle one. Yeah.
yeah, well, hey, teach their own. This is a judgment-free zone,
Hmm.
But I'm not going to explain what the human centipede is for those of you. I don't know if you're fortunate or unfortunate enough to not know what that is, but he talked about the human sedipification of culture and just this regurgitation cycle over and over again, which we all know ultimately AI is just it's plagiarism software. It regurgitates, it doesn't create. And I just watched like the third season of Primal.
Mm.
And oh my goodness, if anyone who hasn't seen Primal, talk about just such a mainline vision of the type of art and storytelling that he creates, right? And it's so powerful. And then I think about, okay, again, I'm going to use the word that you used earlier, Sean, ripple effect. 10 years from now, if this is the path we're going down and we're removing that unique human element, even all the way down to storyboards, what are we just going to be looking at piles of tapioca pudding everywhere?
Ooh.
Vanilla ice cream, the lowest of the ice cream flavors? Yeah, I said it. I know the vanilla mob is real, and I don't mean to get hot, but I'm just saying, what is this going to do? And it just, as a creative person, as someone that lives in the creative space, that enjoys the creative space so much, it's just even the principle of what they're doing, aside from the pragmatic aspect, just is really just very heartbreaking to me.
So there are a bunch of firings overall at Marvel, but let's laser in and talk about the comic space specifically because there have been uh multiple people let go at Marvel Comics core.
Mhm.
On the executive side, you have the executive director of communications, Timothy Cheng, was let go. Lauren Bissam, who's a senior editor at Marvel Entertainment, was let go. And she was responsible and worked on things in the Marvel Kids line. Um, Devin Lewis was let go, another editor who was the editor for Marvel's Moon Knight line,
Yeah.
Daredevil, a bunch of stuff there. Darren Shan was also released. Had been at Marvel for 10 years, worked on some X-Men stuff, a lot of stuff in the X line. Um, so they got rid of some people in editorial, but then they also released David Gabriel, who is the senior vice president of print sales and marketing at Marvel Comics. This is an unbelievable loss that I think fans of comics who don't get in the weeds with the minutia of the behind the scenes stuff, this won't necessarily mean anything to you. You're probably looking at the title of this video and saying, well, who is David Gabriel then? Why does that matter? David Gabriel's been at Marvel for 23 years.
That is longer than some of our staunch listeners have been alive, you know?
It's not longer than I've personally been alive, but it's definitely longer than I've been reading comics to this point.
Mm.
And that's crazy because I've been reading comics for a long time. Um, he was super successful at Marvel in his role. Um, he was very, very, very beloved. Um, a retailer's friend in the sense that in his position, he knew all the retailers, he knew their businesses, he knew how to sell to them, knew how to market to them. Retailers felt like, here's a guy who's not going to bullshit us. If you go on social right now, you'll see the outcry of support. And the journalists in our space who are talking about this are making it very clear how bad this could potentially be for Marvel. Um, to the reporting at Comics Beat from Heidi, she said, but it's also a seismic change for Marvel and the direct market, where David Gabriel was the guru of sales, respected among retailers even as Marvel's sales stagnated of late. Indeed, the question I've been asking everyone today, quote, who will replace David Gabriel, has come back with a single answer. I have no idea. The 23-year ride that followed is one marked mostly by success, as Marvel has been the #1 publisher for as long as there were sales charts. The publisher soared behind the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the biggest film franchise ever and culture-defining moment for the teens. But Gabriel also came in for criticism for relying on variant covers, endless relaunches, and ever shorter runs of comics, with the recent 5 issues and relaunch trend showing diminishing returns. His tongue-in-cheek "one death a quarter" comment was a joke, but not really, and shows how he mastered the ebb and flow of fandom and sales.
Hmm.
The last year showed more cracks than ever in the Marvel sales formula. DC overtook them in the top 10 and got all the attention and new fans, even as the MCU was showing its age. Marvel seemed unable to pivot beyond its long established and stagnating content mix. Gabriel's presentation at this year's Comics Pro got low marks from retailers I spoke with, and he only stayed for a day at the conference. And Marvel did not do roundtables, unlike other publishers. There's a lot there. Bleeding Cool also has a lot to say. I'll stop now and let you guys say your initial thoughts as to the loss of David Gabriel.
I think on the first point, we don't know who replaces him is scary. As an organization, as people who work and exist under the organization, as fans, it feels like the ship has no captain. It feels like they're floating, in the dark, a ship in the night, and that that I can't imagine feels good for somebody who is still there and thinking, am I next on the chopping block? If they could knock out over here, what does my salary mean for them in terms of their reorgs, in terms of maybe money they're trying to recoup? That's scary. That's genuinely frightening.
And I think
Yeah,
that go ahead, Dirk.
please, please.
The other thing that's jumping out to me too is like nobody knows what the replacement's going to be. And I feel like a lot of these things, with the the concept art team at studios or with editors at Marvel, I feel like a lot of that feels like jobs that corporate could feel like could be consolidated. Not replaced. Like editors, they can give those lines to another editor and stack their plate up. Can you consolidate this gig for David Gabriel? It seems so integral and specific. I don't know if you can take those roles and spread them out, those job assignments and spread them out to different roles. Do you take someone from Disney Publishing, which is a separate, it's book publishing, but it's someone there that they can do. I don't know. It's a really weird one because, like you said, Sean, this guy's been around since I've been reading week to week Marvel comics.
Yeah, and I mean, and the reality of the situation, and I know the sources you said touched on it, Sean. There's been a lot of critique internally that's been bleeding, I think, into the public that Marvel has been a rudderless ship for a while now. And I am not saying that should be a direct correlation or connection or reason for David Gabriel, among other people, losing their job.
Hmm.
But the fact that, oh, not no, but that being said, being there 23 years, I mean, there's a certain amount of comfort being in a position that long. But the fact of the matter is, Marvel is a major corporation run by a mega corporation. And they just looked down one day and said, you know what? We don't need this. We don't need you. And whether the release was based on underperforming, whether or perception of underperforming, whether it was based on budget cuts, whatever it may be, I always joke that I'm way too punk rock for a metal guy, but it's one of those things where again, it's like when you work for a large anyone like that, when you work for a large corporation like that, the fact of the matter is, at any moment, someone very high up can just I hate to say it this way, but I can't unring the bell in my mind now. Thanos snap you,
Mm.
and then poof, gone. And the biggest thing to me is what a lot of you touched on. There seems to be no inherent or apparent succession plan, right? It's I don't know if the corporate overlords there care. I don't know if they see the value in it. But those of us in the weeds are looking and say, this guy was a pillar, this guy was an institution, right? Um, Good or bad, he was a captain of the ship. And every month, tons of Marvel books came out. And every month or every other month, someone was talking about a Marvel book somehow, some way. And that was in large part due to a lot of his contributions. But the fact that he was just so unceremoniously kicked to the curb, just like a lot of the people we talked about earlier, and there was no, or there has not yet been, I mean, this is all very fresh, but there has not yet been a succession plan announced. To me, that's the story beneath the story,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It wasn't like, hey, this person's leaving, but this person's stepping to take their place. It's more like, oh, gone. Uh, it's interesting times.
To that point, my first thought is those who are still there are now going to be spread that much more thin. They're going to have to cover off for all of the other people. That's going to lead to burnout. It's going to lead to mistakes. It's going to lead to it's going to have that effect that comes down all the way to us, to the books that we hold. More recently, and this isn't a correlation I'm making, more so an anecdote, but uh, I think two of the last few either blind bag books or books in general that I've gotten, like center pages have popped out of them. Like
Mm.
from a construction standpoint, let's look at that optically, right? That doesn't look good. Now we can imagine a scenario where this all happens. The editors again start to spread over to cover multitudes of books. That kind of quality could be something that we see not only in the production but in catching errors and continuity in the machine of comics, especially for a machine like Marvel. So it's a shame.
So, for the purposes of public consumption, I do not know why David Gabriel was fired, right?
Right.
But what I will get on here and say no more than this, he did not lose his job for performance issues.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. Now, whatever the reasoning is, at this moment in time, it doesn't really matter because he's gone. And there is a massive hole in Marvel now as a result of that. You're talking about a guy, it's not just the knowledge that he's accumulated over the years that he can no longer bestow. It's also the relationships that he has uniquely built. The comic book industry is based on relationships, very, very much so. It's small, and who you know and who likes you and who you like is almost more important than anything.
He would have his breakfast right at the cons, the like Comics Pro. Was it him that would like meet, like you would do like a speech and retailers would be able to talk to him directly, right?
Well, that happens at Comics Pro. That's what Comics Pro is.
Sure, but he was
Retailer breakfast.
accessible and he had those relationships with retailers and yeah.
In
Um,
contrast to this Comics Pro, where he has kind of he left off.
yeah, I won't talk about that, but there's something you need to understand about Marvel that I don't think people really get. And I'm not telling you this because I know something private. I'm telling you this because it is what it is. Marvel is a company that marketing controls. And you can very, very clearly see that if you pay attention. What I quoted to you from the Beat article written by Heidi McDonald isn't conjecture on her part. when she said that he made a joke about killing a character once a quarter, that's strategy. So what that means is strategy that influences what happens inside the comics. 100%. What did we say about Armageddon? Armageddon was an organic thought that Chip had for a story he wanted to tell in his Captain America books that marketing got a hold of and then said, "Hey, let's blow this up.
Right.
Let's make this an event." How many times have we heard about events that weren't intended to be them? Like Devil's Reign,
Another
that
Chip
wasn't
book.
going
Yeah.
to be an event that then was an event. Marvel is a company controlled by its marketing. So if David Gabriel was at the tip of that spear, then what I offer to you is that the person who controls Marvel most is now gone.
Mm, mm, On a public facing.
Mm.
Okay.
Even
Yeah.
that, because he was the one that was doing all of the relaunches as well. That was Heidi mentioned, right? Like all the and it's
5
funny how
issues.
it's funny how it was the editor of Moon Knight also got laid off during this, and Moon Knight being one of those titles that's like the example of that kind of constant relaunch style. Yeah, this is and it's not like Marvel is doing, because everyone talks about the staleness of Marvel. I think that's pretty. I think we're a vocal minority in that sense online. I think the numbers show Marvel's doing fine. Um, so it's weird to see cuts like this as well.
I think it's important to look at it though from a corporate standpoint. I think that's one of the things that Sean was kind of doubling down on, and not without cause, right? As a guy that largely lives and breathes in the creator-owned space and the small press space or the indie space, whatever people want to call it. Um, the the flip side to that to me is always what I've always said is corporate comics.
Mm.
And I think for a long time people thought I meant that as a pejorative, and I don't. They are corporate. DC, Marvel are corporations. We've even started to see this to a smaller extent with a lot of the things that have gone on at Dark Horse, right?
Mm.
They're run by mega or owned by large corporations who are going to make corporate decisions. And those of us who are fans, and I would go as far to say even those of us who are those of us who own stores or store owners are looking at this from that fan perspective. Oh no, my comics. These are corporate decisions.
Yeah.
Right? Uh, like you said, Marco, either this is either the work's gonna get spread more thin, or they're not gonna replace them. But every month they're gonna make a corporate decision on how many books come out and how the IP is handled. They did it in the movie studio, the special effects crew, the visual arts crew. They looked at the books.
Yep.
And I don't mean the comic books, I mean the financial books over in publishing at comics, and said, we don't need this. And there may be more, there may not. We don't know, right? But these are corporate level moves. And I think it's important not to get lost in that. And when you start to look at the reboot trend, when you start to look at the public perception and things like that, as a corporation, what they're doing, I don't want to say it starts to become more obvious because I don't think anyone saw this coming. But I think it's a situation where now we can start to look at this through more of a wider lens than maybe our fandom allows us to initially consider.
It could have just been as simple as like, hey, who's getting salaried the most? Or let's look at all these salary numbers. Who's been there the longest, which then you would have hopefully a steady increase in salary with yearly pay raises. And you just have to trim the fat, unfortunately. It's like what's the least amount of damage could we do with the most amount of gains in money?
Bingo.
Which Yeah, which like I know people who work like retail and stuff like that, and I see a lot of the times like, oh, some of the more tenured people are getting fired for bullshit, you know,
Mhm.
but they're making the most money. You can hire a college kid that's much cheaper.
And if you're a corporate suit who does not live in the fandom of comic books, and you're looking at a spreadsheet and you're looking at names, titles, salary, and a byline about job positions, look at it through that lens.
Yep.
What, and again, this is no I understand what this guy did, right? And I think all of us here, but I can also envision a world, and I don't know, I don't have any insider knowledge, but I will say I can imagine a world where someone looks and goes, what's this guy do for this amount of money? And
Yeah.
do we need that?
Yep.
It's just like one of those like organs you can just cut out, like an appendix or whatever, right? It's like, and that's corporate.
They might have cut out the kidney by
That's
accident though.
right. Whatever it may, whatever it may be. Yeah. Do you really need to, times are tight right now. Do we really need two
Exactly.
kidneys?
Yeah.
Right.
Andrew Dunson with a 199 says, "Be serious. Today is Superman Day, Sean."
Is it?
Didn't know. Atomic Hound with the 999 says, "I'm not sure we understand Marvel the organization enough to determine where the content staleness originates, but it's an organizational issue they need to sort for all stakeholders, including fans." Thank you for the 999, Hound. That triggers our super chat goal, which will allow us to play the GOAT game a little bit later on. So that's a reminder that super chats are open. We're 2 out of 10 through our goal. We reached our goal in like a half an hour last week, which was ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's over 150 people watching us live right now. Thank you guys so much for that. Make sure you smash the like button. Consider super chatting if you want to support us. While we're live here, Common Sense with a 499 says editor Darren Shan was also let go by Marvel. He is the editor of Kyle Higgins' Darkhawk and X-Men individual solo hero comics. Yes, we did get into that, Common Sense. So David Gabriel being fired, or excuse me, David Gabriel being laid off,
Yeah.
made me think a lot about what happened at DC in 2020 when DC let go of Dan Didio and many other senior editors. And at the time, without the context that would come later, it appeared as though DC was reacting to negative feedback. But that was not the case. The only person who was fired in that wave that I'm aware of due to negative feedback was Dan Didio. And it wasn't the negative feedback of fans. It was the negative feedback of the people who worked at DC who were unhappy with him specifically. I can tell you pretty confidently that that is not what happened
Yeah.
at Marvel here. That no person who was fired here was fired as a result of performance. I do not think that Marvel believes there is any kind of problem. I think if they did, the names that were fired would be different. And that's not because I think that anyone deserves to be fired. What I am saying is that if there was a fundamental problem at Marvel that they thought they had to solve, you wouldn't fire Darren Shan, right?
Yep.
The person editing Darkhawk would not be the target, right? So I just really want to double down and put that narrative to rest because I've seen a lot of people trying hard as fuck to run with it, and it's just not the case.
And look, the Josh Tomorrow, even in his press release, said these are not based on performance across the board. This is just trimming and leaning out the company. And what's even worse than the people who are like, oh yeah, he's got fired because he sucks, stuff like that, is like, oh, here's who should have gotten fired instead. Don't do that. There's no fucking class consciousness in this fucking country. Like, don't Kalshi bet on someone's livelihood. It's fucking shitty, and you're a shitty human being if you're doing that.
And I'm going to double down on that and say first and foremost, and I try to be a person that doesn't publicly use language like this, but I'm going to do this one
Ooh.
time. If you're that type of person that you are so desperate to somehow be involved in the comic industry that you want to give hot takes on people's livelihood and their career, fuck off into the sun.
Hell
Yes.
yeah, dude.
You
Yes.
fucking parasite. Are you so low and so desperate that you have to be a psychic vampire and harvest on people's misfortune
Yeah.
just to get a little dopamine hit on Twitter or something? Reevaluate, recenter, step back, and just recenter yourself. Don't be gross.
If you really have to get your anger out there, there's only one direction it should be directed at, and that's at the top. It's all these cuts, these thousands of layoffs of people who are in an economy that's shitty right now. Gas is fucking insane. I almost saw it at $5 when I was driving in Connecticut. Yesterday. It was at 4.50 something a gallon. The job market sucks right now. So the idea of laying off thousands of people in this kind of setting, just so number go big for the big people at top, is shitty, and that's just the nature of things. It will never change. And the fact that you're getting mad, you're laughing at the people who lost their jobs or wishing this happened to more people, you're looking at the wrong enemy.
Yes. Oh, I don't like what they did with Darkhawk.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Really? And then you have to say it publicly? And then I promise you, these same people that are making these hot takes are sitting there and like looking at their phone every Thursday. Oh, did someone pay attention? Did someone like it? Oh, maybe it needs to text. Look, man, the world's a dark enough place right now. Everybody's struggling. Give grace. Be cool about it. I mean, you cannot like people. You cannot like Dan DiDio. You cannot like David Gabriel. You cannot like the direction of Moon Knight. But to publicly
yep.
celebrate misfortune, I would go as far to say, is one of these really bad trends and this harvesting of negativity online that has gotten us to a lot of bigger places that we are right now, even outside of the realm of comics.
Yeah, it's a lack of empathy across the board.
A lack of empathy, a
Yeah,
lack of grace, and then an egotism that that you get it, right?
yeah,
You understand. I appreciate what you said, Sean, so many times. Like, we don't know. We are prognosticating. We're on the outside looking in. We're just sharing four various opinions from four very divergent perspectives on this. But don't celebrate misfortune. You don't need to double down on the attention to the negative things. All right. And I feel bad because I feel like we've been kind of like down this morning about all this stuff because it is tough. But what we're down about is the fact that people are losing their jobs,
yep.
right? The fact that AI is coming in and potentially taking jobs, the fact that corporations are leaning out creative ventures. Don't celebrate that just because like, oh, that shows them for doing that to Darkhawk. It's like, don't be a
A
psychic vampire
Th-
about it.
bootlicker.
Yeah, this is the same week that at CinemaCon Disney touted being the company with the most billion-dollar franchises. Oh, go
Oh
fuck
my
yourself.
god.
Cole in the chat makes a point. He says Omar at Near Mint was name dropping David Gabriel like every video, every Marvel video. They had to have some sort of professional relationship because Omar was announcing Marvel collections. Yes.
Hmm.
And I will not speak on Omar's behalf. Certainly, Omar can speak for himself. But you're right about the fact that Omar did have a relationship with David Gabriel. And I want to take this time now to um, explain a little bit more about what David Gabriel's day to day was, from what I know. So, the collected edition space at Marvel, before Gabriel really, really started to focus on it in the late 2010s, was not great. And Gabriel saw an opportunity to make money, especially during COVID when people were going nuts buying collected editions. to really put a spotlight on that part of what Marvel does and get aggressive about it. And it succeeded. Um, I actually was speaking with some people who are really deeply into collected editions, and I was told that over the last few years, Marvel has filled more gaps than DC has, and that Marvel actually has been better, um, not at keeping things in print, but at printing things that need to be printed that haven't. And that's because of David Gabriel and his relationship with Omar, who is the foremost channel Near Mint is on collected editions. So they had a direct relationship where Omar would funnel the results of polls and what people really wanted to be collected to David Gabriel, and he would take that information and you would directly see it reflected in Marvel's publishing line. We now see that with DC, but that relationship began between David Gabriel and Omar. So that's pretty big because we don't know what the collected edition space at Marvel's going to look like without him.
Yeah.
The other thing that I would say is that just me as an individual person, I have more worry about Marvel without David Gabriel than any other person whose name comes up in these conversations.
Mm.
Who am I talking about? Tom Brevoort, CB Cebulski, and Dan Buckley. What I mean by that is, I'm more concerned about what happens at Marvel with David Gabriel gone than if you told me that any of those other three people were gone. Only because of the influence that he has on Marvel in relationship to them. And one of the people I named is the president of Marvel, Dan Buckley. I personally believe David Gabriel's more powerful than him.
Like
Yeah,
you
but
mentioned earlier, from that public facing
Mm.
perspective, from the
Yeah.
from the consumption perspective, right? Us as the comic book consumer, we're coming more into contact with decisions being made by David Gabriel from a line, a marketing, and a distribution standpoint. I think that makes sense. That's valid. I'm also wondering what battles Dan Buckley's having internally when speaking up through to uh the corporation, right? The ladder there, because I wonder, that must have been a shitty conversation, a shitty negotiation to be like, these are the people that we
Yeah.
have to survive without, you know? I do not envy that. I don't envy the needing to likely tell David, and at this point, there is speculation there, but just based on his position, just based on where that is, um, I wonder if Dan's not fighting for his life right now and for the life of the people under him.
You would hope so, at least.
I would hope so,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And concessions would have to have been made.
Yeah, because Justin Morrow is not making these cuts. These go out to individual management who they
Yep.
have a number they have to hit. It's like I always think about it as like a weight limit in a video game. When your bag's full and like you just have to find the right things to even out that number so you can walk unencumbered. And as shitty as that sounds, it's essentially what management needs to do.
P&Ls, dude.
What'd you call me?
Profit and losses.
Oh, that is a slur in my eyes.
Well, at the airport, Marco's like, was there even a conversation? Or was
That's
this
the
a,
thing.
Maybe not.
hey,
Yeah.
here you go, handle this? Or this is happening, right? Um, yeah, the institutional knowledge, that's the biggest thing. I think that's one of the things that you don't see on spreadsheets nearly enough. And again, I'm gonna triple down on this whole AI thing. I think more and more people are starting to think that AI is going to do a lot more things for them than it's capable of. And the institutional knowledge, you know. And the other thing, Sean, you touched on is the Omar connection. This circles back to something else you said earlier as well. The comic industry, the people that actually actively work in this industry, is an incredibly small pool.
Yeah.
It's incredibly small. And you're right. If one or two people don't like you, it can have huge ripple effects, right? But that's down here. That's in this little club that we're in down here. Way up there, where these decisions are being made, if you think that anyone that made these decisions gives a rat's ass about how important, how much of the people's champion, to cite our holy holiday of WrestleMania this weekend, even if David Gabriel is the people's champion amongst the crew down here, no one up there is going to give a rat's ass.
Yeah.
They're just not. It's all, we've all been saying, it's all numbers.
Remember when WWE fired Bray Wyatt?
Yep.
The big number they can cut. Even doesn't matter how many fans he had.
Yep. 100%.
Frank drops 10 on us. Thank you so much. Says, news like this makes me wonder if Marvel will move to licensing out IP to third-party publishers and just stop publishing books. They already work with IDW, Abrams Books, etc. more nowadays than they used to. I will have more to say about that in a little bit.
Did you read our script? Like,
Yeah,
you sent in the show notes? What'd you do?
It's like thirded. Yeah.
Owen Harrison says, I saw many fans say they would have had less of a problem with any of those three names you mentioned being laid off. Right.
Yeah.
I have too. And what Dirk said is what I say. Fuck off if that's how you think. That's not a normal thought to have. That you would like to see Tom Brevoort lose his job, have trouble supporting his family, because you don't like the X-Men books right now. That's a weird way to think. And again, like you do have to cross. You do have to think about that juxtaposed with, well, I think there's a problem at Marvel. And I think it's reasonable to think there's a problem at Marvel, but I also think that going as far as to name specific people you think need to be fired is just a bridge too far. And I'm not willing to go there. I don't have those feelings.
And there's something strategic that you also have to think about. You know, the X-Men is such a quality in Marvel books aside at the moment, right? We're just thinking about how it connects to the larger sort of sphere of IP. The X-Men is huge. It's going to be upcoming at some point in the MCU. And so you're not going to drop a Tom Brevoort. That line has to stay afloat to whatever degree it needs to. That is not a strategic play. Even if there is bloat there, that's money that cannot be recouped in experience or someone else taking that line over to your point, Dirk.
Right. Look at the spreadsheet. Oh, this guy does X-Men, and X-Men are about to appear in Doomsday. Feige just said so. All right, no, next.
That institutional knowledge.
One of the editors was an X-Men editor, though. And the other editor was one that worked on Street Level Heroes, which is also big in the MCU right now. So like I don't know if there's that much of a direct line.
But Tom Brevoort is different than these two other editors.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I'm just saying the role, the field that they're in the line. I'm not sure that would have as much of an impact.
I think it would, because I think that destabilization in a line that Marvel sees as important going forward is not something that they would want. I think that Tom Brevoort was chosen to be the editor of Marvel for that exact specific reason. Someone who they could trust that would deliver whatever the needs are for the future of the X line. So I think that they would absolutely look at specifically those three names and say, wait, we can't get rid of these people because we need them.
No, I agree with that point. And I'm saying the inverse of the people who did get let go. I think it's because, like, if we have not a lower editor, but it's not Tom Brevoort working on X-Men books, we can cut him because Brevoort can handle those other X-Men titles. The person working the street level, editing the street level Marvel books, we could probably give that to the Spider-Man editor. Like you can distribute that workload to people who are longer term or more, I guess, perceived as tenured or well equipped to handle a bigger load, which sucks because like not only do you lose those people don't have jobs, but now the people who still have jobs have a bigger caseload, and like we've all experienced that, having to take the extra load of a job loss in your area. And then that also, it's like, are they ever going to fill that job, or are they just going to make me do it? and get paid the same amount to be doing two jobs at once. So now the quality of the current workers is diminished. Like, nothing against Brevoort. If you're not a Brevoort fan, but now his workload is double, that's not going to make his work better.
Less
And
people doing more work
Yeah.
for less money.
there's another factor that fanboys ignore. You think the X line sucks right now. Think the X line sucks right now. That does not mean that Marvel thinks that. That's a projection. It doesn't mean that Marvel thinks that. Marvel doesn't look at the only way Marvel would think that is if the numbers dictated that.
Yeah.
It's not as if Dan Buckley reads comics and goes, and again, I don't know what he does, I don't know his life, but this is my supposition. I don't think he reads an X-Men book and goes, wow, this is shit. We need to do something about this. I think he looks at how the books are performing and the metrics and says, wow, this is doing really well. We need to double down on this. And David Gabriel, in that sense, is then more important than whoever is writing the book, because David Gabriel's in charge of marketing, which in the mind of a corporate person is probably more directly correlated to sales than the actual creators are.
Yep.
And again, Gabriel was not fired for cause or laid off for cause.
Right.
I've been trying to think of, like, okay, from let's say also from a larger org perspective, this was, yes, the influx and increase in AI. This was, I'm trying to figure out where there's like need for recoup, but from an organizational standpoint, one of the worries I have, and Sean, let me know if I'm going in the wrong direction here, but the uh, the recent acquisition for Warner Brothers. Like, this happened. The last acquisition for Disney was Fox 2019. So let's assume we add some math to that. That's 7 years, right? Like, does that mean that we have an expectation of 2032 for something to kind of reorg structurally for, let's say, a competitor like DC? Different reasons, but my thoughts sort of going like reorg for reorg, if that makes sense.
So Warner's is doing a huge reorganization right now. We need to also reorganize to keep up with things. Is that what you're getting at? Just like a tit for tat?
Or rather, the fact that there was a corporate buyout in Fox that led to the need of a reorganization over time from 2019 to now.
I mean, a buyout is going to necessitate, this is corpo speak, but it's going to necessitate a reorganization across the board. There's a lot of redundancies when you do a buyout, unfortunately. I don't think they're going to be doing a buyout every so often. That's just not the case for things. I think this round of layoffs was A, because of a new CEO, and B, there's a lot of layoffs happening across the board right now in all industries. So I don't think it's really them looking across the street and being like, okay, we need to match that kind of energy, because that's not even finalized yet. So I just think it's just like, this is across the board. I think it's a quarter just finished, right?
Yeah.
A fiscal quarter.
Yeah.
This is the case across the board. Like in wrestling, post WrestleMania, it is known by fans to be the time when the layoffs happen.
Mm-hmm.
Even I saw people fucking speculating on, here's who should get fired. I'm like, fuck you.
What the hell? What?
Yeah, literal tweets be like, this person should be cut, this person should be cut. And I'm like, that is scummy. But like, this is the time, unfortunately.
New fiscal year. Yeah.
Yeah.
New fiscal year. Who dis?
Yeah,
exactly. Staying on board.
So there are obviously a lot of tendrils to this. I don't even think that we will know the full effects of David Gabriel's loss for some time at Marvel, especially as they go on to try to fill his role. And I don't even know how you do that. But there are more pieces to this than we've even discussed so far that have me questioning what Marvel's real plans are for the next few years, because it seems like they're less and less interested in publishing stuff. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But what I want to do right now is I want to say thank you to the people who make this show possible every single week. Our sponsors, you. The pals, thank you guys so much for supporting us over on Patreon. And you guys know that every single week we shout you out and put a spotlight on you because we love you so much. Special shout out to our pals vs. Legends, the Hound of Justice, Atomic Hound, Starcross, Catherine Stars, the Spear of Judgment, Jay's Jumble, Safe Haven, Hayden's Hideout, the Red Spiral, Spiral Storm, Jesse and the Juggernaut, Kyle is in it, Flair, Panda v Panda, Ted Wong, Adam Solis Smith, Sam the Last Young Renegade, Blur, Jekyll Jose, Entertain Me, Peter Living Lightning Electrics, Just Unseen, Shalom Paladin Warburg, Jamzilla, and Cosm the Andric. And thank you to Pals vs. Members, Brian Demolished Del Pozo, Kefis the Incorruptible, Momentum Mike Elliott, Dan the Truth Trudeau, Marley Manistorm, Slow Flow Dameron, Christian Uncaged, The Spirit of Justice, Izzy's Issues, Robert Runback Cashaback, Pete the Dreamweaver Collins, James Just Jamming Jones, Paul Powerhouse Smith, Neon Knight the Cosmic Avenger, BJ Kicks of Comics Are Dope, The Grand Alchemist, Chop Order Alchemist, and John Barrier B. If you didn't hear your name and you're supposed to, you will a little bit later. And we've got an origin coming today. So lots of fun going on. Now, Marvel has, for some time, allowed other publishers to publish comics with IP that Marvel owns. They've done that a lot with their kids' comics. They've done that with some of their Star Wars stuff. I have questions about where that's going. Because as of right now, this is a list of publishers who Marvel allows to publish comics with their own IP. Scholastic, which makes sense. Joe's Books, Viz, IDW, Skybound, Fantagraphics, Clover Press, Abrams Books, and Dark Horse. All are publishers that Marvel allows to put out work for them. Dark Horse is pushing out the best of Marvel's Vampire Tales in August of this year. Comics that have Blade in them and Morbius in them will not be published by Marvel this year. We've been saying, where's Blade? Where's Blade? Blade's a Dark Horse.
It's Morbid time, but not at Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is happening?
Did you mention Abrams as well?
I did.
Because like I said, the fact that there's one of my favorite creators, Eric Powell's, putting out a Thor book with Abrams after Alex Ross just did a Fantastic Four one over there, right? It's like, read the tea leaves, people.
Huh.
Sorry, was I jumping ahead?
No.
But it's like if the list that you just read, and I apologize, I missed you mentioning one of them that I was thinking about specifically. If you have not yet really considered conceptually what this means, should we shout it out for the people in the back? These are licensed properties. They are licensing them out.
Mm-hmm.
Full stop. And again, I understand I say that as a guy that touts creator owned, that now helps other creators publish creator owned. I'm very much my tastes skew creator owned. I value creator owned, and I've done work for hire. And I'm not saying work for hire is bad. I'm not saying that corporate comics are the enemy. I'm not saying that. But at the end of the day, we have to remember these are licensed properties, and they are going to license them to the places that gets the corporation the most money. And a lot of very talented people can do very creative, powerful stories with these properties. But at the end of the day, they're licensed properties. They're items on a spreadsheet. I think someone mentioned earlier in the chat, I happened to catch a glimpse about Dan Slott talking about his new Spider-Man book. Man, you're going to find few people on this earth who love Spider-Man more than Dan Slott. You're going to find few people on this earth who will ever write more Spider-Man than Dan Slott.
Mm.
And Dan Slott will be the first to tell you, I'm sure, he's playing with someone else's toys, playing with someone else's property, playing with a thing that they have bought to make them money. And when Dan Slott makes them money, Dan Slott keeps to keep Dan Slotting. Which again, a lot of, and I hate focusing on the negative, and I apologize. And I'm going to try to turn this around, but a lot of people kind of came at Dan when he was saying, buy this book, support this book so we can do more of this. He is speaking as someone that's writing one of the books for the main line when the corporation is farming out the licensed properties to people that in theory are their competitors.
Dirk, from your perspective, let's put your publisher hat on. What is the business decision there for, let's say, a SourcePoint Press to acquire a license? Does that math make sense for a publisher?
SourcePoint Press under the previous regime did some licensed property stuff. And I will tell you the whole purpose of licensing, either picking up licenses or licensing out. I will spend X to get X2. Full stop. It's money. Now, there are other considerations. There's a lot of smaller publishers out there who get a lot of publicity, get a lot of traction, get a lot of attention by picking up a license of some 100-year-old property or something like that. And again, I mean, you're talking to a guy that, for my personal brand, I worked with the Lon Chaney estate, the Lon Chaney estate.
That's right.
I'm a horror guy, and getting to work on the graphic novel adaptation of London After Midnight put me in front of new eyeballs, so that then hopefully they'll pick up my creator-owned work. So again, I'm not trying to throw stones from a glass house, but at the end of the day, licensing deals are about money or the ability to either directly or indirectly create profit to keep your company solvent.
And from the Marvel side, is licensing out things just safer? It's like we don't care about the X2. That's the risk. Getting that X2, you guys worry about that. We'll take the X.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Right. You want to pay me X to go on and publish all the vampire stuff that we already paid for 10 times over?
Yeah. That's
sitting here. And by the way, we just fired the guy who also handled a lot of the trade paperback collections. Oh, where's the risk? Where's the loss for me? You want to publish the vampire stuff? And you're going to write me a check to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think DC's killing with these digest lines right now? They've already paid for that. Those properties have paid for themselves 10 times over, and now they're getting to regurgitate the same thing again in a different format, and they're getting a lot of buzz, and more importantly, they're getting a lot of money.
The digest being the compacts.
Compacts, I'm sorry. Compacts.
Just okay. Okay, that makes sense. No, that makes sense.
The smaller size. And again, I'm not poo-pooing that either. I think it's great that we're introducing new readers to these works as well. But keep in mind, from a corporate perspective, they've made their money back on Dark Knight Returns 1,000-fold at least. And now they just added another, 10x to it by doing the compacts.
I just got the new issue 2 of the facsimile. Like, they're
you mark it.
But that's to your point, right? Like
Yeah.
Right.
they are able to continue to pump this out. And if you take that concept and you say, here, you do it now, I don't take in all the costs. You just pay me a fee that I get to
Yeah.
annual. I'm assuming it's an annual contract, let's say annual return, right? I
Mhm.
have a fixed line item on my spreadsheet. I know I'm getting X and I can
Yep.
balance that out better than I can.
Mhm.
Is this going to do numbers or is this not?
Right.
And
And I don't want to I don't want to prescribe intent. Sorry, I'll say this and I'll shut up. I don't prescribe intent, but then conversely, what does more capital allow you to do? Creatively, it could allow you to take more risks. Corporately, it could allow you to justify people's positions, right? There's a lot of levels to this. I mean, but at the end of the day, you have to be able to make money, or you at least have to be able to not lose enough money that you can't keep doing it.
Right. Interesting.
like I look at the thing like this Marvel Vampire Tales. I don't see Marvel publishing that because that's risky. You know, like it's a very niche thing. It's all reprints of stuff that a lot of the stories, like some of them have Blade, a lot of them don't have big name. There's no like Captain America in them unless there's like a Baron Blood story. Um, but if they were say, hey, we can get a set amount of money for this thing that would have been risky for us, that like the Vampire Tales make sense. It's when they start licensing out Magneto comics. You know, there's that. What did you most villainous, right, Sean? Was it Dynamite is getting it? Um, right on the cover. What is that? It's Magneto, Jean Grey, and Cyclops. Those are big name characters that really shouldn't be a risk to make something about. Even though I don't really know what stories are going to be here, this might be like a grab bag situation. Um, that's where I'm like, ooh, that's a distinct shift that is telling and strange.
And is it a risk to them, or is it just rather that they're just getting free money?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
is it free money? Yeah, but I'm worried that they think that publishing it is a risk themselves.
So,
And let me tell you, as someone that publishes,
Mm.
one, paper's expensive, shipping is expensive. One or two bad decisions can vastly alter your plans moving forward, to put it mildly.
so it's very bizarre, first of all, to see three of Marvel's biggest characters on being published by someone else for whatever the reason is, other than a crossover. And this in particular is going to be a line. Marvel's most villainous is starting with Magneto, but it's going to continue, and
Mm.
it's going to include stories inside of it. And it says from 1963 to 2003, spanning 40 years of the character's history, stories being published in another by another company. New scans of original art, essays, commentary. Sounds like an awesome project. One that I would imagine Marvel would want to have in-house. What I have just told you is that stories written by Chris Claremont, theoretically, potentially drawn by Jim Lee, stories maybe written by Grant Morrison. In fact, here's a list, and it includes all of those names and Lee and Kirby, John Byrne. Like, what are we talking about? Marvel is republishing, allowing another company to republish some of their most important and storied comics in history. You mean to tell me that Marvel doesn't think they can make money with this? Or not enough money? To me, that's a very bad and bizarre sign.
Or is it free money that they have to do no work to get?
Right.
Well, yeah, but where is the line? Because now we're at the point where we're talking about material that's only 20 years old being published by another publisher. So what's the line?
I think the line comes when it's volumes. When they're doing like, here's all of common sense with the super chats. And Marvel should license out lesser known characters, IPs for new audiences to cover. Kill Raven, OG New Warriors, Weird World. Like I think it's when they're doing like Weird World Volume 1 licensed by another company. I think that's a sign. These are still grab bags that like aren't. They're more of this is the Chili's triple dipper of Magneto. You know, it's when they start doing like Uncanny X-Men Volume 1, published by Dynamite. Uncanny X-Men Volume 2 published by that's where I start seeing like that. If that ever leaves Marvel, that's a very bad sign. I can see how these grab bags is literally free money. I don't see the downside from a Marvel perspective.
Lest we forget, how long ago was it that Marvel bought Conan for a minute to see how that would go? Right?
Mm.
The door swings both ways. And then also you talk about the line. I'll tell you the line that they're worried about right now that any corporation is worried about,
The
and that's the
bottom line.
bottom line.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Keep spreading them out. Keep selling those IPs and yeah, and testing that water in the same way, right? In that inverse, you test the water out, see what bites, because it doesn't really matter at the end. And I bet there's even I'm sure in some scenarios for a character, an IP like, let's just say even Moon Knight, right? Let's not even throw Spider-Man out there. Let's just say Moon Knight. That is, I will let you publish this. You can license that out. But on top of that, because it's let's say a C D tier character. I'm sorry, Tyler. Uh,
If it, fuck me then.
that means 10% on top of sales, right? Like they can dictate that because you want that IP that bad.
Right. And keep in mind, Disney just laid off a bunch of people. There's a capacity issue here as well. If you are Disney, do you want Marvel spending their human capital on regurgitating old stuff,
Hmm.
human setification of the content, or do you want them making new stuff that they can turn into a billion-dollar movie? What do you want? What does the guy with the mouse ears at the top want?
Hmm.
So Margot and Tyler and Sean work at three different companies. They each want to publish some different version of something. Someone wants to do vampires. Someone wants to do Moon Knight. Let's keep it real. Someone wants to do vampires. Someone wants to do a prestige Thor thing, and then someone else wants to do a book about the villains. And you're just gonna pay me money to take that old stuff I have and just reprint it, and then I can use my human capital with my big mouse ears on to just pay people to make new stuff that maybe I'll get that next thing that I can turn into a multi-million dollar or billion-dollar movie.
And like,
The
Yeah.
line is the bottom line.
Yeah.
and when the hell was Marvel going to put out a vampire collection? Like this is stuff that probably is stuff they weren't even planning on doing.
Didn't
Right.
need to think about.
Yeah.
And they're not dumb. I'm sure if it gets to the point where all of a sudden the MCU pivots into vampire stuff again, all of a sudden they'll find
That's
a
what
way.
Sean's hoping for. He needs to win that bet.
Well, that's the thing that strikes me so strange is that these are both things that are on the docket for the MCU. So you guys are saying, why would they publish this or when would they think about it? I don't think like that at all. I look at this and I go, these are two things that seem perfect for the market. Marvel is always selling retro. Marvel is always trying to sell to its older crowd, and I think that these are two curated projects that make perfect sense for that audience.
But
Go ahead.
I was going to say, but like, think about now you have the bargaining chip for the people who want to license this.
Yeah, but I'm not quibbling about whether or not it's a smart business decision. I'm just saying that I think it makes sense that Marvel would want to publish these.
They did.
Um, yeah. I'm not trying to argue it. I'm just saying it makes sense that Marvel would want these properties to be in the world. Um, so we'll see what the future holds as far as what's going on with that. It's not new, but it does feel like it's aggressive right now.
Yeah. Again, I think it's indicative of what we talked about in our first segment, right? Money
Well, yeah.
and licensed properties, and again, I hate to suck all the juice out of this with like the creative stuff is so important. These stories bring us such joy, and they allow us to be entertained and inspired and things like that. And that's wonderful. But there's another level to it when you go corporate, right? There's another level to when it goes corporate, and that's what we're seeing. Two segments in a row now. We keep coming down to that same thing: the money that the corporations are getting, and we look at it through our fan lens sometimes. Uh, and Sean, I love you like a brother, but as you were talking, I just kept thinking, well, this is fan Sean talking. Where's the corp? Where's the guy that was talking in the first segment, David Gabriel? Because you're right. As a fan, you would think Marvel wants it in house. They don't care. And I should be fair. I can't presume intent, but their stuff is getting out. They just don't have to do the lift.
It
It's
does still
still
say
Mighty
Marvel on
Marvel
the title. Yeah.
Yeah.
My friends, we have made the same point for 10 minutes.
Yes,
Is it okay for
sorry.
me to move on?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. So, I really want to put the spotlight on how the industry has reacted to these firings. Because whenever something like this happens, there is going to be, look, David Gabriel and these editors, they worked with creators boots to the ground probably every day. Well, David Gabriel, maybe not so much, more so with retailers and things like that, but the editors, for sure. So I just wanted to read some reflections that I think are worthwhile. Um, Heidi McDonald on social said David Gabriel was behind a lot of the editorial decisions coming out of Marvel. He was truly the architect, and his departure is going to have major repercussions for the publisher. This goes back to what I was saying earlier about how powerful David Gabriel actually was and how little we know about that. Jeremy Whitley says David Gabriel being gone from Marvel is, well, it's something. I don't think anybody who has spent time at Marvel can understand, or who hasn't spent time at Marvel can understand just how much things he had his fingers on. For better and worse, I feel like nothing happened without his sign off. What it means depends on what happens next. David Harper said this is true and honestly a stunning turn. When I heard David Gabriel was out at Marvel yesterday, I had to confirm with 4 different people until I finally believed it. I'll be writing about this later, but I definitely did not see this coming. Wow.
a lot
And
of
those are
a blind side.
yeah.
Feels like.
No Sandra Bullock needed too. Like these are people that are in the industry that are like surprised about this.
Right.
You know,
Think how small and tight we are as an industry, and no one saw this coming.
Yeah. Scary.
Yeah. Um, this is definitely gonna have it's going to have ripple effects. It's- there's no doubt about it.
do you
Um,
think,
go ahead.
from your perspective, Sean, do you think somebody would want to pick up David Gabriel for their company?
I think someone would, but I think that David Gabriel is going to float on his golden parachute to a beautiful island resort with his husband and have a wonderful rest of his life. That man is in his early 60s, and I think like, I don't know anything about his financials. I have to imagine that kind of position with that kind of tenure, he's probably making very nice money. Uh, I think he
Hopefully.
can ride off into the sunset perfectly fine. He's an executive at Marvel. I'm
Yeah.
pretty confident in that.
And I also hope that at least these people, everyone involved, at least got a decent amount of severance.
Right.
Dan Trudeau with the 5 spot. Lean is the corporate trend now. Stockholders reward companies on how thin they can run. I'm seeing it across the board in my job.
And Dan has said in the chat that he's a recruiter, so
Yeah.
he would know about this.
Yeah.
I see
Tell me if what I said earlier is accurate, man. Less people doing more work for
Oh, yeah.
less money.
Totally.
Right.
Totally. Yeah.
He also said Sean sounds like someone telling a kid the family dog is going off to a farm to live happily.
Well, I think he probably will live happily. Like I'm sure work is life for a man of David Gabriel's stature, but at some point, it's time to hang it up. And I don't know, maybe the stars just sort of aligned in that regard here.
I know David
Sign.
Gabriel manages that family calendar like crazy.
We will continue to monitor the situation as it unfolds. I think that when DC's firings were much more significant
Yeah.
in company, like in the comics portion, were much more significant in terms of the volume. But DC was able to turn things around and become the best DC we've had in 20 years. We'll see how Marvel reacts to this.
Yeah. And unfortunately, we might see something like this happen to DC down the line too after if the purchase of Warner becomes a thing.
We'll
But
see.
I appreciate that positivity too, because you're right. I mean, we're in the moment right now. We're in the moment where people have lost their jobs and things like that. Hopefully, everybody's going to land on their feet. Everyone's
Yep.
going to move forward. Sometimes, you gotta hit that rock bottom moment to rebuild.
Yeah.
And hopefully, this is just going to be better days ahead for everybody. I mean, I think that's the best disposition we can have after grousing here for an hour about it. Is this is really rough. Let's just hope that everyone comes out of this farther ahead a year from now than they are maybe at this moment.
On the editorial side, by the way, I'm sad that these individuals lost their jobs, but I have a high degree of confidence that they will find work because good editors in comics are worth their weight in gold, and everyone has had kind things to say about the
Yeah.
quality of their work. So I got to imagine other publishers look at this and go, "Oh shit, there are some golden gooses here that we can snap up."
Yeah.
Yeah. Easily. And deserved at this point.
Yeah. Yep. Look at this. Steve Canara says getting laid off from one job was the best thing that ever happened to me.
It could
It can
happen.
happen.
Yeah.
It
You
can.
never know.
I've seen it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. We never know. But what I know is that we are going to have a ball with the rest of the show. We've got so much planned for you guys. You've been amazing so far. Keep it up. We need your energy. It is early in the morning in the United States. So please bring it on. Let us know if you're fucking with us, if you're enjoying the show. Let's talk about Dirk. Dirk is here with us. We've got a guest on deck, a guest panelist who's lending his energy to us on this early morning. Dirk is a road warrior, so he's used to being up this early, having to sell comics and talk shit. I have had many a conversation at a Comic Con around this same time on a Thursday, Friday morning. How you feeling, Dirk?
No, that is true. It's funny. You mentioned the Road Warrior aspect. I recently just finished a run of 3 shows in 3 weeks, culminating in C2E2, where SourcePoint Press, we had our first showing as publisher in Artist Alley. We had 8 tables all together in Artist Alley,
Wow.
which
Incredible.
which it was so fun and so cool. And I got done with C2E2, and I was just after that run of 3 shows, and I was wiped for a week. And I thought to myself, I'm that guy who would do like 13 shows in 13 weeks. I'm that guy that did 24 shows in 18 weeks once to win a bet of $1. And now, with the gray coming into the temples a little bit, I did 3 in a row, and it took me a full week to recover. Now part of it may have been scope and magnitude, right?
Yeah.
Having the having Source Point Press reemerge in the convention scene in Artist Alley with 8 tables and things like that, with 8 different, creative teams. But man, Father Time is undefeated. Man, no joke.
You're
Never done the job. Never done the job.
No, Father Time has never done the job, man. And I turned 51 in January, right? And it's just like I had people tell me, watch out, man, when you turn 50, they're gonna flip a switch. I'm like, man, listen, I live a pretty clean life. I mean, my biggest indulgence is ice cream, right?
Yeah, just not vanilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, not why. Look, if you're gonna eat ice cream, don't you want something with flavor?
Yeah, French vanilla, delicious.
Listen, oui.
This
Oh,
this is
sure,
okay. We
right.
shouldn't be talking about
Wait,
this in Sean's presence. He can't have ice cream, so this is
I
fine.
know,
I'm
I know, and
very
I
comfortable
apologize,
with
Sean.
it. You
I
guys are good.
there is good dairy-free options, things like that. But I will just
No, there's
say
not.
that, you know, like French vanilla, it just means it translates in English as "le no flavor," right?
I don't
Vanilla
speak
ice
French, so
cream
I don't
is
know.
what you do to build a better ice cream.
Hmm.
Oh,
I'm
man,
just saying.
Dirk, you're hitting me
So
in my soft
there's my
spot
hot
right
take. No,
now.
and I know the vanilla mafia is real. I get it.
I'm head
You
honcho.
triple bean. Oh, triple no flavor. Right?
I'm
Come on.
flicking those beans in my ice cream.
Right. But point being that through before I get the vanilla mafia after me again, the it's it was shocking to me and a real wake up call because I had people that tell me, "Oh, when you turn 50, watch out." And I think I made it an extra year by being fairly physically active and things like that, and trying to live kind of clean. Um, but man, yeah. But it's been a lot between running the publisher now and then doing my own writing as well, and helping pave this road and helping a lot of aspiring creators come through. But then I get to come hang out with you guys all morning, which makes it all worth it.
It also helps your sitting.
Well, yeah. Well, the people that see me at shows know. What's the one thing you don't see me do at a convention?
Do you have a chair?
There is one there. The only
Okay,
time you'll
all right.
see my ass hit that seat is if I'm like trying to like stuff a bite of like a power bar in,
Mm-hmm.
because inevitably I try to eat a big breakfast um, to kind of carry through the day. But usually like around 3 or 4 o'clock at a show, I'll do this. Like, oh, why? Like, oh, I haven't eaten since 8 a.m. Well,
Mm-hmm.
blood sugar is real, so I like I try to like sneak down real quick and like grab a power bar or something like that. But yeah, I don't sit at shows, so it is nice to be able to sit and just chill with you guys and chop it up.
Well, Dirk's going to be with us all day long, not literally all day because we won't be live all
Yeah,
day,
what if
but for the duration of the show, thank you for lending us your time, Dirk. Why don't we spin the wheel? We owe a couple. Let's get one of those
Yeah.
done, shall we? First of the day. Love to see it. Where are we at?
it probably would help if I could see. You want to lie to Marco, Sean?
Dirk, what
Yes.
we've landed on is a segment called Lie to Marco. And
Okay.
all you have to do, and this is very easy to do,
Yeah.
is tell Marco something that has some steeped in truthness, but is a lie related to comics. That's all you have to do.
So
Marco needs to figure out the lie.
Yeah.
So foundationally, it has to be untrue, but there has to be some truth in it. But he's got to suss out what part of it is not true.
Yeah, or you could make up something completely fake. Marco just has to be able to tell you whether you're telling the truth or not.
Yeah.
Oh, so but can I tell him the truth?
After.
You
no.
Oh,
can't.
you could.
It has
could,
to
yes.
be there has to be an element of a lie in there so that
Right.
Marco has something to suss out.
But
Okay.
but you could tell me the truth, and if I don't know it, I could just be like, I think you're lying, but it
Right.
could just be real.
Okay. Now, see, here's the real. I'm going to be fair. Am I Moriartying you right now? As a longtime listener of this show, by me saying, "Can I tell you the truth?"
Oh.
Am I leading you to believe that the thing I'm about to tell you could really be true and it's a lie?
Oh no.
So here's the thing I'm going to tell you. Marco, I'm going to give you an exclusive from Dirk Manning to the Comics Pals.
Love it.
I am writing for a very, very large client an all ages book about that includes desecrating dead bodies, pissing on corpses, but with a family friendly all ages message.
Huh?
I I think, Dirk, I trust you. I think you're telling the truth.
All of that,
All of that.
all of it.
Yep.
Even the
All
pissing?
ages, an all ages book about desecrating dead bodies, pissing on corpses, but it has a family-friendly message.
All ages book about pissing. I hope the client's not R.
And
Kelly.
and it has a family-friendly message. I believe that.
What's the word, Dirk? Tell us.
Everything I just said is true.
Yes.
Boom.
Yes. I
Boom.
trusted and I was paid off.
Sean, I don't like to be a duplicitous person, so I apologize. I could not muster something.
It's so fun, though.
You're friends. You're friends. So I tried to swerve him. I tried to swerve. And but that is everything I just said is absolutely true.
See, it was the family-friendly message because I know you. You're a strong writer, an incredible writer, and I know that you can turn that around. You can turn something as desecrated as desecrating bodies, pissing on things, into something that has a meaning.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was handed, to be fair.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Big
details
client,
soon,
too.
but what's that?
You said a big client as well, right? Or partnering
A
with?
very big client. Very big client.
I can't wait to find out the details on that. That's exciting.
Family-friendly fun about corpse desecration.
Oh. Oh, I might have an idea. Okay, never mind.
Victor Giovanni says, just got here. Who is Dirk again? Dirk is probably, no, I don't think it's probable. I'm sure it's actual. The guest who's been on the show more than anyone.
Yep.
A 20+ year veteran of comics.
23 years in March. This past
Boom.
March was 23 years.
The publisher owner of SourcePoint Press.
Yes, sir.
Writer of such classics as Tales of Mystery and Nightmare World, and also writer of an incredible sort of self-help how-to guide to comics creation, Right or Wrong, who is going to tomorrow present a workshop based on his creations in Right or Wrong to our Discord community, who are going to be able to sit under the tree of a master and learn some shit. How about that? Comics Pals Discord. It's educational and it's for the kids.
And we will have no corpse desecration talk tomorrow.
Oh,
No.
man, I had it scheduled in.
Well, you know what? For you, Tyler, I might make an exception.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Also, I'm gonna, because it's WrestleMania season and about titles, things like that. 4-time Ringo Award nominated writer.
Love it.
Hopefully 5 coming up soon. We'll see. And
Once
also,
you hit the 5, you got to learn how to do a spinneroonie.
if I'll tell you, I'll make you a deal. I'll put it out here now. If I actually win a Ringo Award, I will attempt a spinneroonie.
Oh.
The last time somebody on the show made a bet about physical activity like that, he never came back on again. R.I.P.
Right,
Kale.
but if I do it, you have to show it, even if it's not live.
Oh, okay, yeah. Even if you hurt yourself, Kale, we're still gonna have some video evidence of it. Okay.
Right. We'll have to. I just want to be demonstrated, because I always say that nomination, the people make the nomination, but then the judges pick the winner. So to me, the win is always in a nomination, right? But if I actually win, if I actually crack the inner circle and the judges, I win a Ringo or even an Eisner. I actually submitted stuff to the Eisners for the first time this year. I had 2 books that I thought really maybe could be capable. But if I win a major award, I will attempt a spinneroonie and give the Comics Pals the footage.
Hell yeah, I'm making burner accounts now.
I need it. Chat. Let's make it happen now. Come on, we can do this. We can get the spinneroonie here on the show.
An attempted spinneroonie.
Yeah. The Ringo nominations are live right now, actually.
Well,
so you can do the nominations.
I thought they were closed. You're right.
Get away from it.
Damn it. I've worked myself into a shoe. Just like with the ownership of SourcePoint Press, I worked myself into a job I didn't want. Um, yeah, we put up I'll do the cheap plug for myself. I told myself I was going to plug other people's stuff, and I will, but I'll say this. We did put up London After Midnight in a couple different categories. We also put up love stories about death, Austin McKinley stories specifically, Nothing Else Matters. Put that up. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I've unlike a lot of people, I don't think I've publicly put up like, here's where you can nominate me and here's what you can vote
Mm.
for. I mean, maybe in my Facebook group. So we'll see what happens. But if I win, you will get footage of me attempting a spinneroonie if I win a major award.
Hell yeah. I have faith you
I
could do it.
I had to Google what that looked like. I think you can do
Oh
it, Dirk.
my god.
You
Dude,
think
I think I could do that right now.
Spinneroonie?
a
Yeah.
spinneroonie? You're lithe. You're
He's
lean.
stretching. He's stretching. Look at him.
He's
Yeah,
I
still
we're getting
saw
ready.
that. I saw that. Like
he's still
little
riding a
stretchy-
vacation high too. So his body's limber.
That's true, right? You're a young man, right? I'm 51, and to be busting that out and having trained in martial arts for years, one thing is I don't go on the ground, I don't go on my back. Right? That's not how I operate, I can be like a turtle or a cockroach. I could fall and just my limbs all just, like going back and forth in the air. So we'll see. But yes, tomorrow, Discord, right or wrong, they have that on the screen. Thank you. I'm really excited. I appreciate the opportunity. I've been writing I've been a published writer for 23 years, primarily creator-owned work. I'm so excited. I really appreciate the opportunity to come in and just, chat with everybody and help out. So thank you for that opportunity. I'm very excited about that.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a blast. I can't wait to attend it. I've attended one of Dirk's workshops before at a convention, and it was incredible. So I really think everybody who wants to write, wants to create in any capacity would benefit from showing up. And please, can we get a link to the Discord in the chat? And if possible, also a link to vote for Dirk in the awards.
There's
Um,
something.
I will mention tomorrow, like the books that I've put forward. I've tried to make a very concentrated effort of what I want to see nominated. So tomorrow I will share that with those of you in the Discord, should you be so motivated.
Okay.
My much bigger call to action, which I think we'll talk about later, is at SourcePoint Press, we publish all creator-owned graphic novels, and we have 4 creative teams with live Kickstarters right now that are just all just rocking, and a 5th one coming up that's excited about. So when I get a chance later, when it's plug 2.0 time, didn't mean to infringe on the 2.0 gimmick, Marco. But when it's plug time, I would just like to shine the light more on some creators with SourcePoint that are just doing amazing campaigns and just shine a light on the cool stuff that non-corporate comics coming out through SourcePoint Press.
oh yeah, we're about to get into that here in just a moment. Comics are dope, says, and this is of course BJ Kicks, who runs a
Yes.
tremendous YouTube channel that I love. It's my favorite comics YouTube channel. I wonder how much the design community owes to whoever designed the ego font. What's that?
It's
Anybody know?
I don't know. I don't know the ego font. Am I not up to speed on ego?
And then he also says, when is this workshop happening? It is tomorrow, so Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. 1 p.m. Eastern. Dirk is going to join us on Discord. All are welcome. This is free. This is not anything you have to pay for. There is nothing that you ever have to pay for when it comes to things we promote on the Discord, except Patreon stuff. This is not Patreon. This is free, open invitation. So come
Pay it
hang out
forward.
with us.
Yep, pay it forward.
And thank you, Dirk.
No, man, thank you for the opportunity. I wrote Right or Wrong to help pay it forward to other creators. My mantra when I started creating comics 23 years ago was, if I ever get to the point that I'm making comics, I will do everything I can to help other people out. I'm sitting here now 23 years later. I've had, I believe, 20, I think I'm 23 for 23. I think I've had 23 full creator graphic novels published, as well as various other side quest things here and there, one shots and short stories and things like that. And I've done this all never writing for Marvel, never writing for DC. I was at Image for a while, but they do creator owned. So I really try to help other creators like blaze that path to tell your stories. so that if you want to sell to a corporation, sell your IP and get it licensed out, cool. But I think there's such value and such power in creator-owned stories and mainline vision of the people doing the things that they want to do, and breathing new life and breathing new properties and breathing new stories into the industry. That's what I'm passionate about, not the human centipidification of IPs. New stuff, bring the new.
That word's gonna be stuck in my head.
I told you it's a curse, man. Once I heard Alan Moore say it, I could
Human
never get out of my head.
centipidification.
Human
Centipidification's a fun word.
centipidification.
That feels good coming out.
Right. It's such
Yeah.
an Alan Moore word on top of that. But yeah, that's why I wrote Right or Wrong. That's why I do these things. And full transparency with Sean was like, hey, would you be interested in doing this? I mean, I think you can vouch for this, Sean. My enthusiastic response was, how soon? When? Right.
Yeah.
Let's go. Pay it forward, man. I love getting to help other creators put more comics in the world, because then we all get more cool comics.
I completely agree with that. And speaking of cool comics, let's talk about what's happening at Source Point Press right now. Let's talk about some of the cool comics that are actually up on Kickstarter right now or are about to launch. And the first thing that sticks out to me
Mm-hmm.
is actually a book from my boy Austin McKinley,
Yes.
who I really like. He's just a great dude,
Awesome.
super talented artist. He's the artist behind, of course, Tales of Mystery 5 and 6.
Yep. You're
Um,
correct.
and I just love this dude. He, through SourcePoint, has
Mhm.
Stellarator
Yes.
on SourcePoint. It's a graphic novel. It's described as a graphic novel and an NES video game adventure.
Correct.
Cool.
Huh.
Austin is one of the most ridiculously talented creators I know. Now I'm going to go into full hype mode for a minute here, but people that know me, I hope, know that my hype is very, very sincere, and I can see that. Yeah, so there's Stellarator right there on the screen right now. Austin is one of my longest collaborative partners in comics. He is an illustrator. He is a colorist. He is a filmmaker. He is a prose book author, and he is a video game designer. This guy is hella talented. He is incredible. He's amazing. I've worked with him on all kinds of stuff in Nightmare World. If you read Tales of Mystery Volume 5, that was all his artwork. Tales of Mystery Volume 6, which is coming out in June to the Kickstarter backers. He illustrated all of that. Stellarator is another one of his passion projects. It is just fun sci-fi action comedy graphic novel. And on top of the book, so that alone is fun. I mean, you can see just by the artwork here and the graphic, it's just fun. It's live on Kickstarter right now. But because he's Austin, and because he is just ridiculously talented, he has also created a true working video game that goes with the graphic novel. And you can get it on Kickstarter. Spoiler, you will not be able to buy the video game in comic book stores, but you can get it in the bundle on the Kickstarter. It is fully functional. It is real. This is not a joke. This is not a rib. He created a Contra kind of style video game that takes place in the world of Stellarator. So you can get the graphic novel, you can get the video game with it, you can just get the book if you want. Now, eventually, Stellarator will be coming out in comic book shops from SourcePoint Press. But as the publisher, as the guy that owns the company, I have no problem Austin getting all the money through Kickstarter and all of you getting all the cool perks with this book that you can get this way. The comic shops, that's going to be a secondary market for this. Hopefully people are going to continue to discover what an amazing talent Austin is. But this dude, just to start with one of the 5 creative teams we're talking about, created a sci-fi action graphic novel and a playable video game with it live on Kickstarter right now, fully funded and unlocking stretch goals as we speak.
Love it. Love
That's
it.
rad.
And there's still 4 more. That was just the first one.
Hey.
Killer Cosplay is actually a book that I learned about at New York Comic Con last year.
Yes.
I was speaking with Tony Mielo and John Marroquin. And John is someone who I've known for years through Dirk and whose
Mhm.
art I have enjoyed. Tony is someone who I'm newer to. What I was really interested in here was the concept, which was described to me as murder at Comic-Con.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna take it one step farther. Killer Cosplay is a slasher set at a Comic-Con, where the slasher, people aren't sure if he's a cosplayer or really the killer.
Hmm.
I'm a horror guy. This book is comfort food. It's a slasher to Comic-Con. You get all the Comic-Con jokes in there, the comic industry gags in there and stuff like that. But then layered on top of that, you literally have the killer. Imagine like Jason Voorhees walking around a horror convention and people don't know it's really Jason Voorhees. It's
That's
that kind
awesome.
of thing. It's so fun. Dave Acosta, who's done a lot of the Elvira comics in recent years, did the cover for this one. You can get a Kickstarter exclusive version, cover by Dave Acosta. You can get some other cool add-ons. Again, this book will be coming out from Source Point Press into the comic book stores later, but in full transparency, by backing the Kickstarter, the creators keep all the money, and this allows them to help fund the production of this book and hopefully other stuff. As a publisher, I'm fine with that, right? This book, if you are a horror fan, and like for me, sometimes, like if I'm not on the road on a weekend or something like that, maybe I work all day in the office or things like that, or sometimes I've done this like on a Sunday morning. I just want to turn on a fun horror movie. I had that same experience reading this book. And John and Tony are very dear friends of mine. I've known them a long time. I've traveled with them a lot. So I preface that to say I was kind of nervous when I read this because I know we all like a lot, like we all like horror and stuff. And sometimes you judge your friends a little more stringently.
Hmm.
And especially as a publisher, I had to be very careful, like not let my confirmation bias of liking these guys get in the way. This book is a home run. It is so fun. I was laughing out loud at times. There's times when I actually did the oh, right, like like the scene. If you like horror, I would say Killer Cosplay is a book you absolutely should back. Again, fully funded on Kickstarter right now, unlocking stretch goals, and it combines Comic Cons into a horror movie, into a slasher film. It's just chef's kiss, perfect.
How about Hero of Alexandria,
This is,
which
oh, go ahead.
has just off rip has some really interesting artwork that I am looking at now live, and I think it looks really great. Tell us a little bit about this one.
Uh, uh, this is the sleeper book, and this is the book that's not yet funded that I desperately want to see this book get funded. Ben Licious wrote The Black Coat. He's co-creator of The Black Coat with Francesco Francavilla years ago.
Oh,
Yes. The concept of Hero of Alexandria is what if the Roman Empire became an industrialized nation? Stunning artwork. And this is a book in full transparency. I don't think Ben would mind me saying this, has just been sitting in the files for years. Ben and I go all the way back to when Nightmare World was published by Ape Comics, as well as The Black Coat was originally published by Ape Comics. This book was supposed to come out. It just didn't. Things happened with the company and things like that. And when I was talking to Ben about, hey man, I know you're out there and you've been doing some really cool stuff on Kickstarter with The Black Coat. But what about whatever happened to Hero of Alexandria? He goes, oh, it's been sitting here. The artwork on this is just stunning, but it's a very different type of book. So I'm not surprised it's not funded yet. But again, this is the one I desperately want to see people jump in, give this one a push, give this one some love. Stunning artwork. It's alternate history. If again, what if the Roman Empire became an industrialized nation? Amazing, amazing book. If you liked The Black Coat, you know what Ben can do with kind of like alt history a little bit in historical fiction. Highest recommendation on this one. With this book, it's funded. Again, there will eventually be a mass market retail edition of this book. Show Ben some love on this book. This is one of those books that when you get it, it's going to become that book you automatically are telling other people about when you read it. I promise you. It's stunning, it's gorgeous, it's fun, it's action-packed, it's non-traditional. But again, you'll notice these three books we've talked about with Source Point Press so far, a sci-fi comedy, a Comic-Con slasher, and now an alternative fiction epic.
Hmm.
But these are all comics with a sharp edge, right? And we got two more we're going to talk about as well. If you can only back one Kickstarter, and I hate to say this because I know everybody involved in all these books, Hero of Alexandria needs some love right now, uh, just to get this book out there, but also to get what Ben's going to be doing next out there. Don't sleep on this one. When you have this book, I promise you will reread it, and I promise you this is going to be a book that you're going to be telling your friends about.
I love that. Let's just take a quick moment to talk about someone that I think we all love too, which is Samuel Summers, who dropped $4.99 on us times 3,
Oh,
which got us over our super chat goal, which means we will be able to play the GOAT or WOTE game a little later on. Thank you so much, Samuel. Samuel says, I just woke up. I'll have to listen to the show later. I enjoyed the new X-Men book club. It was money well spent. Thank you. I had a great time talking about it.
Yeah.
And finally, I love the Comics Pals community. I hope everyone has a great day. I hope you have a great day, brother.
right on. Yeah, man.
Thank you. That's really kind of you. And that did get us over our goal. That isn't to say we are closed for super chats. Of course, they are still open, but it just guarantees that we'll get to play a game later on. Now, we've also got Divinity Called Shotgun, which is by one of my personal favorites of all of your collaborators, Joshua Ross.
Oh yeah, throw that cover on this screen if you don't mind.
It's on there. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it is. Okay, sorry. Oh, goodness gracious, man. Joshua Ross, one of my longest collaborators in comics, but also this book is the most mainline, insane, crazy thing he has ever done. And you can see by the cover alone, right? I mean, I tell people Divinity Calls Shotgun in a nutshell is Preacher told through the lens of Jeff Darrow.
Mm.
This book is insane. It is wild. It is about, but it also has a lot of heart and a very deep philosophical core. You know, one of the taglines that's used on this book is, what if you woke up one day and found out you were hired to kill a god? That's like the first 10 pages. And before you know it, you've got kaiju, angels, demons, evil penguins, this epic road trip with Destiny taking this road trip through America, through like this weird haunted America and things like that. Um, Again, I think like Hero of Alexandria, this is gonna be one of those books that when people read it, they're gonna be giving it to their friends and saying, like, holy shit, you have to read this book. It's wild. It's just it's just off the hook, man. And there's so much I can say about it. But as wild and as wacky as it is, also like if you've read Left Turns by Joshua Ross, you know, that was his creative nonfiction book about the life of an artist. There's a very deep philosophical, almost, I don't want to say, I don't know if spiritual is the right word. Something with philosophical. A very deep philosophical core in this book is this guy finds out that what if the God that people know is not the first one? What if there's been many? And then he's been hired to help to take, you know, by the devil to take out the new one. And what happens when you do? And the forces of the universe start aligning and all this chaos that ensues and things like that. And again, you got kaiju, you got penguins, you got just so much wild stuff going on. But there's also this deep human center to this book with absolutely incredible artwork. I appreciate what you said, Sean, that Joshua Ross is one of your favorites. If you know his work from Tales of Mystery, if you know his work from Nightmare World, he also just did RSVP ESP with Josh Malerman. He did the graphic novel adaptation of London After Midnight. Joshua jokes with me all the time that when we work together, he has to draw a lot of talking heads. As you can see, based on the cover alone, this is not necessarily just a talking head book.
Mm-mm.
This book is just tapping into the manic, frantic energy of comics. And it's fun, it's philosophical, it's action-packed, it's wacky, uh, but it's got a lot of heart. It is one of those books that I think when you read it, you're going to kind of put it down and be like, wow. And then again, this is a book I think that you'll find yourself picking up. Like, I see this book as like an annual read for a lot of people.
Mm.
And I hope more than anything else that this is a book that continues to show people just how freaking good Joshua Ross is. He's another guy that's not done work for Marvel, not done work for DC, but whether it be RSVP or London After Midnight, the stuff Just With Me, or even Left Turns, which got a Publisher's Weekly review. This, I think, Joshua Ross, I think, is one of the best illustrators, best creative forces in comics right now. And my hope is with this book that more eyes continue to land on him and just see what an incredible creator he is.
Cool. We've got a question from Kurt Wildshut for you, Dirk, who says, are there plans for digital distribution in the event that these projects are funded? I'm a big believer in digital accessibility.
No, 100%. I appreciate that. Yes, we do have an open offer in place to take the whole Source Point Press catalog digital.
Hmm.
We will be doing that soon. In full accountability and transparency, it's just been a capacity issue, quite frankly. And also building up our our books with retailers first. Digital is going to be announced very soon. We have it in place. We just got to put everything together and go. That's going to be basically, I mean, point blank, that's one of my summer projects is get our books digital now that they are in comic shops. So we're looking at comic shops, digital, and then bookstores is our three waves. We really have taken the stance that we're going to be a comic bookstore first publisher, but we recognize that accessibility and space concerns, that digital is also very important to readers. We will have a full court press on our digital releases soon, as well as that entering bookstores after that for people that don't have access to comic shops.
Marco Robinson wants Divinity Call Shotgun and wants to know if it's a floppy or a graphic novel.
Graphic novel. You can back it on Kickstarter right now. It is a graphic novel. It is unlocking. It is fully funded. It is unlocking stretch goals as we speak. It is one of the things that SourcePoint Press is doing. And yeah, I can see someone saying that the cover is very Jeff Darrow likes. A
Mhm.
lot of the book is, truth be told. With SourcePoint Press, we are publishing only creator-owned graphic novels. We're not doing anything in the floppy space. Some of our creators are doing single issues to build to a trade paperback, and some of them are doing that through self-publishing and through Kickstarter. But with SourcePoint Press, we are coming in for the graphic novel distribution. That is where we can get, that is how I mean, personally, that's how I prefer to read a lot of my books. But also, we talked about the bottom line earlier. Let's just be real. This is when we get to the graphic novel space, is where as a publisher, we can offer creators the highest opportunity for return on the investment of their product. I mean, again, I'm looking out for the bottom line of the creators here, right? I am not going to get rich running SourcePoint Press. I promise you. Any creator that knows the model we're working under and how we're being a very creator friendly publisher. And people can go to sourcepointpress.com and look at our submission guidelines. They're offensively transparent, but we're doing all graphic novels. Anything with a SourcePoint Press logo on it is going to be a graphic novel moving forward.
I love that. Let's talk about the last of the Source Point books that you can find on Kickstarter. This one is not actually live yet,
Correct.
but you can follow the project, get notified when it does launch. The Wormhole Club Tragedy.
The Becca, amazing. She's an amazing creator out of Canada. I would best describe her work as Junji Ito meets Charles Burns.
Hmm.
Very unsettling horror. You can see by the cover alone that the cover on this book. I mean, that gives you an idea of what you're getting into here. The Becca creates work that is very body horror, very dark. Again, very mainline vision. We've shown you 5 different Source Point Press books that, again, full transparency, as a publisher and as a company, we are not making a dime on their Kickstarters. I just want to see people help them get their books out there and we can then pick them up and distribute. The Becca is a creator who's been doing work for a long time. She's won some awards up in Canada and things like that. The Wormhole Club tragedy starts off with a case of spontaneous combustion at this club, and some people think that this was an accident. Someone else thinks it's murder, and there may be some supernatural force or entity maybe driving this. I saw someone mention the chat earlier. I hate horror. This book is not for you if you hate horror. If you love horror and you like that Junji Ito vibe, that Charles Burns, that creepy, slow burn, unnerving, slow unraveling of reality style of horror. A24, if you like A24 horror, follow and support this book on day one. The Becca, she is an incredible creator. She is just doing amazing work. And if you're an A24 horror snob, for example, this is going to be the one that you should have on your radar, and you should be back in this one on day one.
Dude,
I don't want to give away too much about this book because part of the fun of it is the slow unraveling of things. But again, this is going to be one of those books that I think, and I know I've said this once or twice before already, that people that have this book are going to be telling their friends, holy crap, have you seen this book? Have you read The Wormhole Club Tragedy? You need to check this out. This collects all 5 issues that she self-published, along with 20 additional pages of content. And whew, just I get the hibbly jibblies talking about this one because I'm a horror fan. And yeah, very Ari Aster vibes, very A24 vibes. It's 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 gonna be one that's gonna unnerve a lot of people, which I'm really excited about. And again, fits perfectly in that vibe of what we're doing at Source Point Press.
Cool.
I went
Nice.
to the Becca's Instagram and she's
Same.
super talented, dude.
Oh,
Wow.
oh yeah, yeah. Eh, I I keep this right at my desk. Like this is like a sketch cover she did for me of one of my favorites, Ghost Rider. And she
Oh,
did it on the
cool.
black cover and stuff like that. I love Becca's work. And this was something that again, she is a creator that is fiercely independent. Fiercely independent. And her and I have known each other for a long time. So when it came out that I was running Source Point Press, I said, Becca, what can we do to bring some of your work here? And we jumped on a couple Zooms and we talked and things like that. And we landed on the collected edition of the Wormhole Club Tragedy. And I can't wait for this book to get out there and people to see it. I cannot wait for people to discover her work. She is such a unique voice in the world of comics. And I would go as far as saying in the world of horror that someday someone is going to, in Hollywood, is going to discover her work and just adapt everything. And I would not be surprised if it's under like the A24 banner or maybe the Atomic Monster banner. I mean, elevated horror all day with her.
It's
So
exciting.
those are the things that are on offer from SourcePoint on Kickstarter right now. Again, these are all graphic novels, full stories that you can pick up and enjoy. Um, I actually, of these, just like for my own personal interest, this is the one that I'm most excited about.
Hmm.
The Wormhole Club Tragedy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think this is the one I want.
Yeah, I would encourage everyone listening. Look, man, we talked earlier about the horrors of corporate comics. This is literally the far end of it. As the publisher, I am telling you, go buy these books directly from them. We don't make a dime. The company doesn't make a dime. Support them. And I would encourage you, if you love comics and you just want to help get fresh voices out there, I don't know if we can offer you 5 more divergent books that yet still all fit under the umbrella of what we do at Source Point Press. Right. So I really appreciate the time to get to talk about this too, man. I again, yes, I have my family friendly corpse desecration book coming out from someone else, right? But I value that you allowed me the time to shine a light on 5 different creative teams doing 5 different amazing books. And I cannot tell you enough to all of you out there watching this live or watching this later. Supporting Kickstarters is a way that you keep this industry not only alive, but fresh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can support one book a month, you are literally having a direct and incredible impact on the lives of creatives.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Killer Cosplay backed. And Hero of Alexandria backed.
Oh, thank you, dude. Yeah,
Those are
and
always.
it's so fun to get the package. When you get the
Yeah.
package, you open it up and you get the book. It's just like, oh, so thank you, man. Yeah, these are books. This is what I envisioned when I agreed to take over with SourcePoint Press. Very diverse books from very diverse voices and just comics with a sharp edge. Comics with a sharp edge. The podcaster, that comics girl, kind of helped kind of bring that phrase into existence, and I've been using it ever since. These are just fresh books that will excite you when you read them.
Well, thank you, Dirk, for letting our audience know about these books. And I know we've got a bunch of people who love indie books. We hear from them frequently. So this is your moment to shine. Don't be one of those people who only talks the talk, walk the walk. Walk the walk and support some creators who could probably use the love. Uh,
Thank you.
we've got a lot more show to get into, so let's keep this train rolling. Um, our theme of the month is Marvel Street Level.
Mm.
And we've got a bit of a problem, guys, because we put up a poll, of course, on Patreon. This is where you get to vote for the book that you want to represent the month. And this time around, there's the four options are Punisher, Welcome Back, Frank, Daredevil by Bendis and Believe, and then you've got Hawkeye by Fraction and Aha, and Immortal Iron Fist, both of which are currently tied,
That can't happen.
dead heat. And there is no way to resolve that on our side. So you have to vote. Rock the vote. Get your vote in if you haven't. Those Daredevil and Punisher votes are no longer in the running. That's like voting for Bernie Sanders.
Whoa.
No!
Not my man.
He's my man too, but damn it, that's what it's like.
Look, man, I loved Welcome Back, Frank. I mean, I love all those titles are great, but come on.
Hey man, 9%.
I know. I
9%.
get it.
I will say, if you do pick Hawkeye, we read the whole thing. It's 22 issues.
Ooh, hell yeah. I've never read it.
So you would get the
it's fun.
entirety of that.
All four of those titles are incredible. I don't have a lot of superhero books in my office here. I've got the Bendis run on Daredevil. I've got Welcome Back, Frank. The Hawkeye run is incredible as well. And I'm sorry, what was the other one you guys?
Immortal Iron Fist.
Oh, Immortal Iron Fist. Again, those are you cannot go wrong. So you cannot go wrong at any of those. Those are great books.
Hell yeah. So we need you guys to get out there and vote. Patreon.com/thecomicspals is where you can vote. And any supporting patron can vote. So you don't have to throw all your comics bucks at us. $3 is the get-in price to be able to vote. So make it happen. iCash says, side note, just picked up the Howard the Duck trade because of Tyler.
Which
Hey.
one? I'm curious, which one?
Yeah.
We talking original or are we talking the Chip Zdarsky? Probably a Chip one. I've talked about the Chip one a lot. So,
And by the way, we would do the full run of any of these except Daredevil.
yeah, I just looked
So-
at Iron Fist. It's only the Fraction sub is only 17 issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the Daredevil Bendis? That's 3 trades, right?
I'm not
I have
sure.
it. That's one of the only one of those superhero things I own. I think it's 3 trades.
Oh, if it's 3 trades, we could do that whole thing too, but I thought it was longer.
It might be like
I
it's from 16 to 19, 26 to 50, and then 56
because
to
Echo
81.
was in
That's
there
a
by
lot.
David Mack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that tail end is 56 to 81. That's almost 30 issues. So
Okay.
So yeah, get your votes in. The other thing though is that of course we always do a countdown. And this month the countdown is top 5 street level characters without naming any spider people.
Mm,
Number 2 we're doing now. Dirk, I want to give you a little bit of time to ruminate.
I got it. I'm ready.
Oh, shit. Okay. All right. Go for it then.
Do you want all 5 or are we going to go round robin?
Well, we're only going to do our number 2, Marco, Tyler, and I, but you should give us your top 5 if
Oh
you
my
have it.
goodness. See, because I know that sometimes, like mine get knocked out of the running. So I got extras even. All right. Well, and some of these now I'm gonna be I got my pen here. I'm gonna open myself up and be vulnerable. You might call shenanigans on my first one.
I will.
Okay. Just be honest.
Okay.
But I consider my favorite street level comic book character. And my 1 and 2 are real close, but I'm just gonna go with a nostalgia pick here. But you guys might call shenanigans on this one. Ghost Rider.
I think at
I'm
a
thinking of the
point,
90s Danny Ketch.
at a point he was. At a point he was.
That's what I'm talking about, the 90s Danny Ketch. And if you could disqualify him, so be it. But I have to vote with my heart. That 90s Danny Ketch Ghost Rider running around, pennant staring, drug dealers and stuff like that.
That one's fine. Yeah, I think Johnny Cage is out of the equation. I think Danny Ketch and Robbie Reyes are fine.
Okay. The rest of you good with the Ghost Rider? I mean,
Marco doesn't know.
I don't know.
You're asking him for.
I'm playing it off. I'm playing it up. Yeah, of
Play it
course.
off?
That 90s run, I love that one.
Sean, that 90s Ghost Rider, Danny Ketch, can I get him through?
Sure. Why not?
You're very kind. All right. Good. This is a deep cut. The Goon by Eric Powell.
Oh, I thought you were talking about our audience.
No, come on. Now. After I just asked people to back Kickstarters by some of the people that are publishing with us. No, I love The Goon. I think The Goon, when we talk about independent comics and things like that, The Goon is one of my all-time favorite books. Eric Powell is a genius. He is a genius. He is a master. That book will make you laugh 1 minute, make you cry the next. And when you talk street level, The Goon literally, like, everything he does is on Lonely Street. It's on one street.
Yeah.
Right? You down? Yeah.
Great pull. Great pull, Dirk. That
All right. So we're there. Got my list here. Hitman by Garth Ennis.
Oh, yeah.
Again,
nice.
an incredibly, in my opinion, underrated book. I think I would go as far as to say, and I like a lot of Garth Ennis' stuff. I would go as far as to say that Hitman may be one of his all-time best works. I might even put it over Preacher.
It's definitely up there.
Yeah. I think he had strong editorial control in that book. The fact that he dabbled in the Marvel universe, the issue with Hitman and Superman won an Eisner for best single issue of the year. Yeah, I think they're just putting out 1 or 2 omnibuses of the whole Hitman run. You got that Amazon gift card or something burning a hole in your pocket. I don't think you can go wrong with Hitman. It's funny, it's sentimental. If you like some superhero stuff, he kind of does the Garth Ennis thing and takes the piss out of some of them. So I go Hitman for 3. Ooh, you might call shenanigans on this one too. Rick Grimes.
I mean, he's hitting the streets.
He doesn't have an option.
That's really the only kind of stuff left going on.
That's what I mean.
Walking Dead land.
But when you think about a street level hero, he's this guy who's just taking a bunch of other average citizens, guiding them through exceptionally tough situations. He was not a perfect character. He was not a perfect person. But the stuff that he went through, the trials and tribulations, I don't think in the comic Rick Grimes gets enough love as truly like the hero of that series that he was.
So one thing we can all take away from this collectively is that Dirk doesn't listen to rules.
Street level.
Marvel
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, he didn't.
It has to be Marvel or DC, or just Marvel?
No, just Marvel, but it's fine.
Oh man,
It's fine.
I'm
It's
sorry.
okay. It's
Marco's
okay.
list had trouble too, so
Okay. Well, so Mark, see, I don't.
just go for it. You're ready. You're ready. Full send.
Yeah, do
Full
your
send.
thing, man.
I'm sorry. I
No
I, I
worries.
missed that part.
You were excited. You were excited.
I was excited. I was in the zone. I mean, well,
Is your
then
top a Marvel one at least?
What's that?
Is your top one a Marvel?
I mean, Ghost Rider's Marvel. My last one is going to be you're going to call extra shenanigans. I did this on purpose.
Who's that?
Mystery from Tales of Mystery, comic book I
nice,
write.
There you go. That
nice.
makes
He's
sense.
my
That
guy.
makes
He's my
sense.
ultimate street level guy. But Marvel, I mean, see, look, I'm blowing right past the plug of Tales of Mystery. Marvel, off the top of my head, I would say 90s Ghost Rider, Daredevil, obviously, Punisher. Um, Luke Cage is amazing. Um, help me out. Swamp.
Did you say
Moon Knight,
Iron
Moon
Fist?
Man Thing doesn't live on the streets. He lives in the swamps.
Well,
Moon
Nature
Knight.
Street.
Right, Nature Street. We could do the Man Thing. I mean, he's got a low level. I mean, he's on the ground.
He's wherever he's needed. Yeah.
Moon Knight solid.
Night Thrasher.
Oh yeah, he's solid too.
If you want 90s stuff, what's some
Who would
other
be my
good ones?
fifth?
Colleen Wing,
Stiltman.
Stiltman.
Stiltman, is he?
He's street level.
Well,
no, he's above the street. He's
That's
way
true.
above.
Yeah, he's not street level. That's by design.
let's give Dirk a little time to
Yeah,
figure that out. And
I got mine.
let's get
listen,
yeah,
Now that I totally broke the system, I apologize. I thought
it's
it was
all good.
What
Go ahead,
about
Tyler.
Venom Lethal Enforcer?
Nope.
Yeah.
Because we said
No,
no
Spider
Spider-Man
Jason.
characters.
Dang it, I heard that part. I'll come up with again. I'm not seeped in. What about wait, I had him on my list and I thought you would totally blow me up on this. The Christopher Priest Black Panther from the 90s.
Yep. I'll take it.
That one works. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I got 5.
Let's go.
Definitely take it. Go ahead, Tyler.
My number 2 is Moon Knight. Moon Knight's one of the characters that, like, as I was reading Marvel Comics, I saw and I found him visually so striking that I needed to read what was going on. I'm trying to think of the run at the time who was doing it. This would have been like 2007, 2006. So I forget who's on it. But since then I've gone back and, read the Sienkiewicz stuff. I've read, going forward, I read the Warren Ellis, I read Bendis's. But I've been consistent with reading Moon Knight since I have been reading comics. And I just find it so fun. I find the idea of working with mental illness to be actually really, sometimes it's gimmicky, but I think a lot of people use it in a way that's like healthy to talk about mental illness in comics. And I don't think it really gets tackled, especially with heroes. A lot of that's like, no, like that's also why I like the Century. But a lot of that's just kind of like put aside for the heroics. And I like how he struggles. And a lot of the struggle is himself. And that is relatable. So, yeah, Moon Knight. Oh, number 2 for me.
My number 2 is Daredevil.
Hmm.
I love the concept of even the superpower, the way that you can play with that to be in the streets in a city as busy and as loud as New York. That feels like such a contrast and steeped in the character. The designs over the years from the classic, yellow through to the whatever texture, he's using now. And overall, the stories that get to be told with him. More recently, we did a book club, Cell Block D. That was wild to me, and that to me is an example of like the range of Daredevil. So yeah, number 2.
My number 2 is going to be Luke Cage. Luke Cage was one of the first characters that I saw in a comic that I didn't know. Because by the time I started reading comics, obviously just through cultural osmosis and playing video games, I had experienced, many, many of Marvel's characters. But that new Avengers run included Luke, who I had never seen before. And he was also the first black character I had seen from Marvel that wasn't Storm, at least as far as like mainstream heroes are concerned. And so I was immediately excited about this character. And Luke is one that I feel like I've been on a journey with for my entire comics reading history. I've seen him go from just Luke Cage to a member of the New Avengers, to the leader of the New Avengers, to a father, to the mayor. He's just had so many positions and been through so much that all feels organic. And the weirdest part about that is that the majority of that development happened in books that weren't even his. So I love the fact that so much has been able to happen with that character, despite the fact that Marvel doesn't seem to really believe in Luke's bankability, but I do. I love what he stands for as a character. I always enjoy his appearances. I thought his time as a main character with the show was really great. So I'm all in on Luke Cage, baby. Sweet Christmas. This character's for me.
Have you done the Azzarello Corbin Cage book?
What year is that?
That's when Axel
Ooh.
Alonso was doing a couple of the Max books. He did Banner with Azzarello and Corbin, and then he did Cage. So I want to say early 2000s, maybe.
Wow, I didn't even know about that line. I haven't.
Yeah, he only did. Axel did a couple of Max books that were kind of a precursor to some of the other stuff they did. But it's Brian Azzarello and Richard Corbin. A lot of I think what they took from the Netflix show stemmed from Cage by Azzarello and Corbin.
Huh.
Well worth it if you haven't checked that one out.
Very interesting. Okay, yeah, I might have to take a look at that.
Yeah, and then the famous bit that got cut from the Avengers movie when Bruce Banner says he tried to kill himself, he shot himself, and then Hulk spit out the bullet. That's actually from Azzarello and Corbin's Banner. I think they were called Startling Stories, I think was the imprint.
Okay. That is startling. I'm gonna have to check that out because that sounds super fucking cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Common Sense with a 199 says Victor Alvarez, Connor Young, and Sella Burke.
First name basis,
yeah. I actually don't recognize any of those characters.
The first one is the new Power Fist.
Gotcha.
Power Man.
Okay. And then Mark with the 199. What's up, bro? Says any DC initiatives Marvel should get inspired by.
I mean,
Yeah. How about All In?
Yeah.
Absolute, Compact, Next Level, Black Label, DC Kids, like everything.
All
And
of
that's not to shit on Marvel. It's just to say that, like, in my opinion, and I think this is a pretty common opinion, DC is doing everything better than Marvel right now.
I think DC can learn how to make black-led ongoing titles. At least Marvel does that.
I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
There's a
I'll
callback.
Okay, we've got a Patreon pal question. I love when you guys take advantage and throw these at us. This one, though, comes from one of my personal favorites, the lovable, adorable Atomic Hound. Marco, take it away.
Superman Unlimited is featuring the return of young John Kent. Is the age up of John DC's version of One More Day, where the publisher is going to tease a segment of fans that want a reversal, but the publisher will never act on it?
So not the fact of it happening being the One More Day, the fact that they will tease fixing it being the equivalent. That I agree more with than it being a One More Day. But I think it's going to be those things like that, like John Kent coming back as little John Kent. That's temporary for the story. You just can't fix that the way fans want it to be fixed. I'm doing quotations because that's not all fans. I like adult John Kent. I'm fine with him being aged up. But like, how do you fix that? do you DH him and then you lose one of your queer characters that you put a lot of time investing into? Um, I it, I think it's they will tease it like they are now, pretty persistent. Going forward, I think, yeah.
It's the best answer you got. It's to make side stories or to create vehicles for you to explore the past or by some sort of uh, villain deviousness or magic or otherwise to de-age but never commit. You can't commit to that. There's already been so much story that is a detrimental step back and confusion for anybody going forward.
Yeah, no, I think both of you hit the nail on the head here. It's like, what's going to best serve the story? Right. And, it's like the old argument about married Peter Parker versus unmarried Peter Parker. Right. It's like, where do you get the most story? And if this is the direction they can tell new compelling stories in, then that's what should be happening right now.
First of all, I want to welcome Omnipo, who says, "Hi guys, new to the stream, looks interesting." Thank you. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for checking us out. I hope you enjoy what we do. Um, my answer to this is yes, absolutely, Atomic Hound. You were right on the money. Your nose has sussed this one out. DC will dangle a de-aged John Kent in our faces for the rest of time. The same way that Marvel will dangle Spider-Man and Mary Jane in our faces for the rest of time. That is why. That is exactly why I always cringe when people say, "Oh, it's Nick Lowe," or "Oh, Marvel hates Spider-Man." Shut up. There's a strategy that is well worn and that DC is currently using, and they are doing it well because the only Superman thing I see people talking about the last month is people talking about John Kent's involvement in Superman Unlimited and him being de-aged. So they're making money off of your anger about grown-up John Kent by giving you young John Kent. Remember this.
Yep.
If you are one of those people who bitches about one more day, remember this conversation and what I'm telling you. Remember what DC's doing with John. It's the same thing.
Sean, I
He
have too
yeah.
smooth a brain, so I'm gonna be upset for something that happened 20 years ago, like or even 30 years ago, maybe at this point.
You weren't
Uh,
even born yet.
I'm not even born yet. I'm gonna be mad about the fact that Peter Parker and Mary Jane aren't together.
Hero says they'll probably keep both Johns, an aged up one and a child one. Whichever is more popular will be kept, and the other will be kept on the fringes. I think that would be a remarkably bad idea.
Yeah. It minimizes both of their stories.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Got to go all in.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep. No half measures. And I think DC knows that. And for better or worse, they're choosing adult John. And in my opinion, I think that's the right thing to do. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. But thank you, Hound. Any of our Pals versus Legends, you have the ability to shoot us a question, and we will tackle it and give it proper thought and attention here on the show, here on the stream. Why don't we spin the wheel again?
And that wheel.
What is it? What is it?
Spit it.
Marco, do you have 1 minute in you?
Yeah.
Is there a subject you want to talk about, or should I give you one?
Something I want to talk about.
So that's a no.
Let me
Cody
get
Rhodes WrestleMania moment.
All right, Marco, 1
Yeah.
minute on what you're excited about most at WrestleMania, starting now.
Dude, WrestleMania, I'm pumped, okay? First of all, the fact that Orange Cassidy is going to be coming out of retirement and he's going to be doing a people's elbow on who's the guy? The Undertaker. Yo, I can't wait for that match. I know they've been billing it, and you know what? I think this is the moment where, even though historically Cassidy's been a hero, I think this is the moment he goes heel. And I know, unpopular opinion, I know that's a lot of speculation. I am wearing my tinfoil hat, so thank you very much for that. But I think this is it. I think this is what the business needs. I think this is what the direction of the story needs. Frankly, I'm ready for somebody else to have the belt. To I don't have it with me, unfortunately, but I need someone
Oh,
else to have the belt, and I think they need to take it from the Undertaker, and I think it's going to be Orange Cassidy.
Can we drink?
Beer, alcohol, yeah.
Uh,
Past that.
I was gonna say cyanide.
yeah. I mean, I've never drank in my life. That made me consider, like, for a brief, I had a like briefly like maybe drinking's not so bad.
Were you doing lie to Marco at the same? Like, do you know where you were wrong in that? Like,
Oh, for sure.
know.
I know nothing. I have no inkling of who could possibly be at WrestleMania. I know like a handful of wrestlers, and I named them.
And Orange Cassidy, who you named, not even in the WWE,
Sure.
doesn't have a. Oh, he does have a belt now. Yeah.
There's
Oh,
a
does he?
better chance that Dirk Manning is leaving this show to fly to Vegas to do a run-in
Yep.
and help Randy Orton and Pat McAfee defeat Cody
Oh.
Rhodes. There's more of a likelihood of that happening than there is of uh Orange Cassidy facing the Undertaker. I'll go you one better. There's a better chance that Chris Benoit will be in the main event of WrestleMania.
Where's my sound
And
drop?
Orange Cassidy versus the Undertaker.
Pause. Time.
Pat, you said Pat McAfee of computer
Yes.
security technology fame?
No.
Wait, no.
That's
What?
crazy.
Is that guy's name Pat?
No, I don't even know.
No,
It's just
that's-
McAfee's just the name.
Jesus
well, that's
Christ.
just- yeah.
My head hurts. Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
Brutal. Brutal. I don't know if we got this super chat earlier, but Hayden hit us with 10 and said nothing much to say aside from I hope these people land on their feet. Also spin that wheel. Thank you, Hayden.
Yeah, man. That's where it's at.
All right, let's get into the news today. Solicits were dropped this week by all publishers pretty much. And so we got some interesting tidbits that we're going to get into. On the Marvel side of things, we've got the announcement of Challenges of Doom. If you weren't doomed out before, get ready for a series of one-shots that are going to feature Doom versus X. Now, I believe there are going to be 5. So we've got Mr. Fantastic, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Magneto, and Namor.
Mhm.
They will come out every other month. So this is going to
Cool.
last until March of next year, which means that over half of these issues will have released by the time Avengers Doomsday drops. Mr. Fantastic #1, Doom vs. Mr. Fantastic, is being written by Al Ewing with art by Mike Henderson. So that's the only creative team we know, but it's a really good one.
Is Al Ewing writing all of them?
We only know one creative team thus far.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Presumably not.
Yeah, I would imagine this will be similar to the Marvel villains thing they did where they had Tyler, you probably remember that.
To bring on the bad guys.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And so just in case you're curious, July 1st is Mr. Fantastic #1. September is Spider-Man. November's Doctor Strange. January's Magneto, and then things end in March with Namor.
Actually, Sean, sorry.
Sorry.
Looking at the solicit, it says every issue will be written by Al Ewing, each
Oh.
featuring a different artist. So the first one being with Mike Henderson.
Sorry, that's my mistake then.
I'm making up for my lack of being able to pull 5 Marvel street level characters out of a hat. I do keep up on the news.
There it is.
So there. Now the scales have balanced.
I will say, Al being on all these makes this go from like I'm not interested at all to, depending on the artist, it might be.
Yeah.
I want all of these now. Like
Wait, did you not before you started this segment?
1000% not.
That was a quick turnaround.
The only one I wanted was Mr. Fantastic because it was Al Ewing.
Mm.
But now that all of them are Al Ewing, they're all yeses for me. I don't even give a shit about Doom versus Namor. What is that? Doom and
What?
Spider-Man, I don't need that at all because I was burned already by that dumbass what was that shit called?
The 9 lives to 10 deaths
Yeah.
of Spider-Man, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
8 deaths.
How are you poo-pooing Doom versus Namor?
It's gonna be a hairline off.
I love Namor as a character. I love Doom as a character.
Right, you got the whole Illuminati aspect and stuff like that. I mean,
You
there's a
have
lot.
the Illuminati. I love the Illuminati.
Right.
I
I'm taken aback because I know you were a fan of that. I've heard you profess at great length your love of the Illuminati. To poo-poo Al Ewing writing Namor versus Doom, to me, that was like the banger of the whole thing.
My feeling on that is Namor has no heat right now. Namor is
Well,
underwater and
He's drowning, if you will.
he is drowning in a sea of lack of publication.
man, this bit's flopping.
And yeah. So, and then for what it's worth, I actually don't even really care about the Doctor Strange one either. I understand the history there, there's a ton of it, but Doctor Strange isn't even Doctor Strange. So,
Hey,
I am not
hey,
here for it.
shout out to one of the best unsung Marvel original graphic novels of all time. Doctor Doom, Doctor Strange, Tragedy and Triumph.
Very good.
Nice.
Yep.
Illustrated, well, written by Roger Stern, one of the most, I would argue, underrated writers in Marvel's history. Illustrated by Mike Mignola, who went on to do Hellboy and everything else. Incredible book.
Hell yeah.
I'm excited for the Magneto one, mostly because Al Ewing writing more Magneto. Fuck yeah. That
Totally.
the death of Magneto, right? That book he did. Oh, so good.
That was death or trial.
There were
Those
some
are two separate things,
yeah.
but the death was the one that Al wrote, if I recall. Samuel Summers with the 10 months as a member of the channel at the VI Pal tier. Thank you so much, brother. Samuel Summers has got to be our number 2 top supporter behind the Tom account.
for
Yeah.
the super chats for sure. Yeah.
Says, I'm stuck. Today is WrestleMania, but my Dallas Stars play at the same time. I don't know which to watch. What should I do?
Get ADHD and put 2 screens on.
I was gonna say we're in a Tokyo, what is that? Tokyo ghost type of environment. Just get that shit
Right.
get that shit everywhere.
Yeah.
Screens everywhere, dude.
My honest answer, brother, is that I'm assuming the Dallas Stars play more than once a year.
Hmm.
Fair.
WrestleMania is once a year.
Yeah, and WrestleMania, the thing is, like, if you use social media at all, you will not be able to touch social media until after you watch WrestleMania.
Oh yeah.
I mean, look, I know a lot of people are towing a hard line on this, but I also know a lot of people who are all of a sudden dropping $30 for a month just to watch Mania live at least because you go to the bathroom, you go sit down, you go number 2, you open your phone up and take a minute.
I do
You're
number 3.
immediately going to be hit with everything. Even if you don't follow it, even if you've unfollowed all the sites on, so you are going to be hit with it. So bite the bullet. If you don't want to get spoiled, do Mania and then catch up on your other team later.
You're gonna see that Fightful tweet whether you want to or not.
Hey, yeah, something's going to come out, right?
Typical Spider dropped $9.99 on us. Thank you so much. Says, hi, pals. I wish Marvel would start producing cardstock covers. I stopped buying physical from Marvel because the quality is just not up to par. The crossovers feel it especially. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I do like the cardstock covers, even though DC upcharges to them like $1 more. If Marvel did that on a variant, I don't know. I don't think I buy enough physical to really have an opinion on this, to be honest.
It's a choice. I mean, like if the quality of the cover matters for you, and I guess it's also a situation of like, are you just gonna put that back into like a bag, a bag and board? I don't know if that's necessarily the play, but If you like it, go for it.
Bring back the gimmick all black covers. So you
I
can get
like
cool
those.
sketches like this, like they
That's
did back
sick.
in the Rise of the Midnight Suns era and stuff like that. No, yeah, it's tricky because if you're gonna bag and board them anyway, which save a tree, maybe, I don't know, but can, by the way, little tip, I don't know if I've ever shared this on here. Someone taught me this years ago. Bag 4 to 5 comics in a row, and then just put in one backing board,
Yep.
and then or even like 6. You can do it by story arc. Do like 6, and then just put a backing board in there, and then do your next 5 or 6. You're gonna get pretty much the same impact. Saves you a lot of space in your short boxes, your long boxes.
Great
Wait,
tip.
can you throw that at me again?
So you bag your comics, but don't board them. So then you do like maybe like 4 to 6, depending on your level of comfort. You can do like a story. Well, if you really want to be OCD, you can do like for a story arc of like 6 issues. Then you just put a backing board in, then your next 6 bag comics and a backing board.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
Yep.
save so much space and trees, but mainly space.
I think you just revolutionized my perspective on my collection, and now I want to kill myself because it would take me a million years to go back and undo the damage I've done.
Well, here's the other thing though. Those backing boards over time, you're supposed to change out your bags and boards anyway to really protect the integrity of the comic.
Yep.
Right. But this way, you're at least taking the backing board piece out, which could damage the comics this way. So you make it a project. You just go bit by bit. Yeah, you just deboard them. Maybe, I don't want to tell you how to spend your money. Maybe it's time for a good rebagging anyway. And then you just go through and yeah, about every 4 to 6 issues. Again, I'm comfortable doing 6, one backing board. You'll be shocked just when you stack up all those boards of how much room you saved.
Yeah. You know what, Dirk, on that, one of the other I do it in the middle. So I do a 3 and then 3, and then I have
Okay.
the board in the middle. But what
Oh,
I
there you
do
go.
is the first one is a front facing cover, then I
Yep. And then a back
flip it.
facing. Yep.
Yeah, so that way also as it compresses evenly because you're gonna start
Yes.
squishing them, and you're not gonna have like that bulky, unbent spine and then that
Right.
curved front page.
Yep. That's
So
another way to do it too. Absolutely right. And then you can pull out like arcs.
exactly.
Yeah. So that way you're even saving more. You're protecting the environment even more that way.
I'm
What
all
do you
about.
use? Like silver? Do you use Silver Age bags to do that, Marco, or Golden Age?
No, I use the new ones. I like the modern sizes.
Okay.
They're pretty good. And
Okay.
they have enough space to do about you're pushing it on like 5 in there.
Yeah.
So I tend to
That's what
do
I was
4 to 5.
curious.
You ever see
Yeah,
the
because you
Mylar
can.
bags?
Yeah.
Expensive,
Yeah.
but they're
Yeah.
good.
Or if you get see, I'm a big Silver Age because you can even bag a lot of times, sometimes a trade paperback in those.
Big space.
If you need to do that for some reason, like 'cause I do shipping too. But yeah, if you go to like Silver Age, you can get easily 6 comics in there, and same concept.
I'm questioning what Marco's talking about because my understanding of Marco is that he desecrates comics
It's fucking
and
lying.
he
Yeah.
gives them away. So, how are you on this program giving tips for how to store physical comics that you don't own?
I do still have collections of runs, or I still have individual issues. Swamp Thing, I own all of the individual issues. So for that, I do condense and consolidate into those individual packs. And those are the Silver Age, because I think the paper quality is a bit older. So I try to keep them different care. I want more space for them so they're not like rubbing up on each other.
Yeah.
So I do still have.
Even doing 1 to 1, right?
Yeah,
In a
same. Yep.
bag.
Yep.
For some of those more you just do front facing, do 1 to 1, and then you can put 3 bags of 1 to 1. Yeah, bingo.
Yep.
And then you can even just put a board between
Yeah.
the bags, or you can put it between the issues, or you could
Oh, between the bags.
put between the bags too. Yeah.
Oh. Huh.
I'm
Okay.
telling you, again, it
No.
depends on your level of comfort. You can easily do 4. Just try it in a short box, do 4 bags, and then 1 board, then 4 bags, then 1 board.
Interesting. Okay. That's a
Dude,
good
you will
idea.
save so much space, and you'll find they hold up just fine.
Yeah.
Now, Propane Kid, which is a name I haven't seen before, so thank you for breaking lurk here with us, says going to my LCS for Superman Day. Haven't followed the newer stuff much though. Any post Bendis Superman trades I should look for? Yes, absolutely. The War World Saga by
Hmm.
Philip Kennedy Johnson and a variety of talented artists is definitely something you should pick up. It's not one trade, but there is a compendium you can get which gives you the full story. I have it collected that way. Love it. Swear by it. In addition to that, any available trades of Joshua Williamson's run on Superman, I think is worth your time.
I also recommend Superman and the Authority by Grant Morrison, which is the precursor to Warworld.
Mm.
But that post Bendis though?
Yeah, because it's yeah,
Leading up to yeah, isn't it? Yeah.
it's got to be.
Look, if you're going to talk Superman Authority, you might as well just go Action Comics 7 to 75. What's so funny about True Justice, the American Way? One and done. It's not. It's the what they eventually gave him a name, but it's like the non-authority authority. They made a movie out of it too. Is with was it not Tyler Black? No, I'm thinking wrestling. Thank you, deep cut. But it's Superman versus like a proto authority.
Hmm.
I think Joe Casey wrote it. Incredible. They did the oh god, I just had the name of the movie and I lost it. They did an animated movie, Superman versus the Elite. No, I'm thinking wrestling
Yeah.
again.
That's what it was called.
It is
Yeah.
the Elite. Okay,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, Superman. They made a movie of it, Superman versus the Elite. But sorry, on Superman Day, just putting a random Superman plug in there.
Yeah. Why not? Hopefully that answers your question, dude. Let's talk about Clayface, whose
Mm.
close up is impending. Clayface will make his big screen debut here this year. And so getting ahead of that, DC has announced Clayface Celebrity Dirt, which is going to be about Basil Carlo, who I think is the most common person that people associate with
Yeah.
Clayface. That's, I think, typically the Clayface we know. Um, it's going to be 6 issues, going to be done by Jude Ellison S. Doyle, with art by Fran Galan, colors by Patricio Del Pesce, and letters by Tom Napolitano. Clayface is going to escape Arkham Towers
Hmm.
and find that his identity has been stolen, which is perfect for Clayface considering how many Clayfaces there have been. But it's that
His
I
whole
think it,
shtick is identity theft.
yeah, exactly. So, what do you guys think about this?
I like Clayface. I like that one bad day issue of Clayface.
Yeah.
That I think is
Mhm.
actually heavily influencing the film. But I don't know this creative team at all.
Fran Galan is Pine and Merrimack. That
Okay.
Boom
Yeah,
book.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Brand's great.
Yeah.
Great artist. That's what perks me at the most. Clayface, I always think back with Clayface. Again, this is an old deep cut, but that Batman the animated series, the Clayface episode where in the end when he's like changing in all the different characters at once, how good that was. And so many times when I think of Batman villains, I think back to Batman the animated series. Is like, here, they got it right here. Just build off of this. Right. And I'm very interested in this. I'm one of those in Gun We Trust people,
Mm.
in regards to the cinematic stuff. I've been a fan of Gunn's work for a long time. So I would imagine that this book is going to kind of echo what's going to be coming up with the movie, which between that and Fran on the art, I'm very I'm very cautious. I'm going to say cautiously optimistic. I'm very optimistic about this one. I think this is going to be a banger.
I've been putting my full trust in DC at this point. This is one of those tie-in pieces, or at the very least, the awareness of it is meant to be. So this is probably something that I'll try to pick up. I think the art's great. Fran is a strong artist, so definitely want to be able to support.
I love Clayface. I don't have any interest in Clayface detached from Batman. So this is not the kind of thing that I need in my life, but I think it'll probably be good. And I think we'll probably end up reading it for
Yeah.
Palace Polls, and then I'll be able to judge it on its merits. But on its
Hmm.
face, even though I do think the art actually looks really good, the preview pages, I think
Yeah, they
that looks
do.
great. The premise is strong. I just have a hard time with like caring about Clayface outside of Batman.
This could be the turning point.
It's very possible. It's
You
very
read it and say,
possible.
wow,
Very, very rarely do I want to read a villain-focused story.
right.
But there's a Clayface movie coming to James Gunn's DC before Batman.
Yeah. Just you wait. Saving the best for last.
CB Gordon's asking if this is a preview page on the screen. No, this is cover A, but it is drawn by the person doing the interiors. So it's a good indicator.
Yeah, I would say the interiors pretty much look like that.
Oh, yeah. Fran, super solid. Someone that's been out there grinding too. So
Let's do another wheel spin.
Mm-hmm.
We owe a couple more.
While that gets done, this is Grass Kings, but this is how I store it. This is all cardstock, but this is all flipped front and back, then front and back, and the cardstock itself holds up. So a lot of integrity on just this alone. And you save. Look at you condense. What is this, 6
Right.
issues? Great
Again,
space saver.
I think we're really underselling Sean's reaction to all of this, quite frankly. And I saw the chat explode for a minute. We talked about this. There are ways to do this that
Right.
are very effective.
Who's thirsty?
Ooh.
Oh,
Take
I
a
got
sip of
called out
water.
earlier for drinking before we got it on a this. It's just water, Dirk. Don't worry, we're not.
Just
DJing.
take
no,
a
that's
sip.
fine. You look, at one point I flipped open my thing just waiting for this moment because I remember last time I was on, we were doing the DCKO stuff and I forgot.
That's
And I'm just slurping away the whole time. And
I'm
you guys
slurping
were
too.
so gracious and didn't call me out.
You've been
Just
waiting.
like today when I broke the rules about only Marvel Street level. I'm trying to behave. I've waited, but I shall drink my water now as well.
Do you want to knock out the other wheel spin while we're here, Sean?
Sure.
Okay. I think it's just that this might be the last one.
It is, yeah, for now.
I did put Crystal Light in this, so that's okay.
Listen, there could be anything in that, and it would be
Oh,
okay.
It's water again. How thirsty are you? Should I just respin it? Or?
Pretty fucking thirsty, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pat called me out because I was drinking my coffee earlier in the show. I needed it. I didn't get to sleep till like 5 last night. I'm out of it today. So, and it was like the last of my cold brew that I brewed. So it's like all the grounds are in it, like all the stuff, the sediment.
Oh, the sand.
So it's not even a good coffee. It's just
Textured.
Well, then you could have, if you had taken a spoon and chewed it,
I could have.
maybe you wouldn't have got
Could
cold.
have. Maybe.
Is there an eating thing on the wheel? I've never looked that deep.
No.
No.
We don't want the people with a.
Yeah, the reverse ASMR of like the
Yeah.
snacking and the slur.
I don't need to be viewed while I'm eating. This, though, what we're about to talk about, is really the only piece of news this week that I care about. And I'm not just talking about in comics. I'm talking about in the whole wide world. Because the series that I am most looking forward to that I know exists is Buffy the Vampire Slayer from Dynamite Comics. Why? There have been plenty of Buffy comics before, but this one is written by Kelly fucking Thompson.
Yo.
With art by Stephen Byrne. This is going to be unbelievable. It launches the 22nd of July, and there's solicitation here. I don't want to read it. I haven't read it because I want to be blind. I watched Kelly on Near Mint Condition, and she talked about how there's something coming in this that she has been trying her hardest to keep secret. She's tried really hard to work with Dynamite to keep it secret, and I don't think it's in the solicitation, but I don't even want to know. I don't want to read it. Go ahead.
Did you see the art at least?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you saw like the character designs and like how it's a pretty extensive cast.
It's an extensive cast. I love the way it looks. I think this is going to be awesome. I'm so fucking pumped. And part of it is because I know how much Kelly loves Buffy.
Mm-hmm. Is this season 5 era? It looks like
I
like
I would like I
Tara's
can
here. Huh.
I don't know what
Yeah.
Kelly's doing. So
The thing is with me with Dynamite, and sometimes I feel like Dynamite, they'll get great writers, but the art maybe doesn't match that writer, you know? I actually really like Stephen Byrne's art. Stephen Byrne did the Wonder Kids, like Jay and Zata, to whatever the turn in the water person. Um, he did that. He's worked on some other stuff too.
Fire and Ice.
Uh, Fire and Ice, yeah, yeah. And it's kind of got like a kind of a Saturday morning cartoon feel to it in a weird way. But I do like how it's photo referencing because these are actors you have to portray without being like straight almost like tracing or copying of it. It's using them more as actors for the art of the comic. So yeah, I think it's actually a good team. I'm pretty excited for it.
And also, I think one thing that can't be understated enough, and I'm going to go backwards, go forwards here. Back in the day, I took a lot of heat for defending Twilight. I'm not saying Twilight was good. I'm not saying it was well written. But what I defended it on, and I will tie this to this Buffy relaunch, it's a gateway for adolescent and tween girls into horror. And then in this case, into horror and into comics, which are two things which I'm equally passionate about. So as much as a bunch of like, borderline middle-aged dudes here are talking about, yeah, Buffy, Kelly, yeah, it's awesome. Also, if they market this the right way, they can tap into that tween girl audience and give them something to sink their teeth into in this medium with a powerful character, with a positive role model character, with a non-sexualized female character, which are all things that we so desperately need in this medium and in this industry. I am, as the kids say, bowdy bowdy on this for all those reasons, 110%. Whether the kids still say bowdy bowdy or not, I don't know if they do. But
I don't know what that is.
okay, then never mind. Then I'm all about it. I'm down.
the cover schemes that they're using are very referential to well, some of them are the old Dark Horse style of showcasing Buffy covers. This feels so right to me. Buffy's my favorite fictional character. Um,
I saw your reaction when you bumped into Sarah Michelle Gellar at Comic Con.
I lost it. I lost it.
Great moment.
Yeah.
I didn't know that happened. How did I
Yeah,
miss this?
we were at we were in like the pro area and they have the elevator there, and we are just
Right.
gonna use it, and it opens up, and then Elizabeth Hurley and Sarah Michelle Gellar walk out, and I'm a big Austin Powers guy, so Elizabeth Hurley, and I'm a big Buffy guy,
Right.
so I'm like, well, I'm a professional too, so I'm like, oh, hi, and then Sean next to me goes,
The gas could even come through. It oh
Did you
You
exchange words, Sean?
No.
Even a hello, a nod?
No. I
You're
am
just
professional. She had a mission.
yeah,
And it is rude. I feel it would have been rude of me to bother her,
that's fair.
but I really wish that I could have stolen 2 of her seconds, really just to tell her how much of an impact she's had on my life.
I would say you just did the head nod. The old,
I went for the head nod, yeah.
yeah.
I said, who's that?
And what I want to do now, and I'm gonna make the executive call.
Mhm.
I want to tell you guys, our dear listeners, something that you don't know about something that's coming up here on the program.
Ah,
Oh,
Because I and the rest of the pals will be able to talk to Kelly Thompson about this and everything else she does on May 2nd, because Kelly Thompson is coming back to hang out with your boys once again, and we are going to chop it up with one of the best writers working today in our space. Kelly Thompson will join this show May 2nd at 1 p.m. Eastern. Come for that. It's going to be amazing, just like all of our conversations with Kelly are.
We
On
haven't
Free
talked.
Comic Book Day in the afternoon. Love, love, love. Go support your
Yeah.
comic shops in the morning. Get free comics. Buy some comics.
Yes.
Because they're not free to the shops. And then come hang out with the pals and Kelly. That's a day. That's awesome.
And we can
Hell
never make
yeah.
Free Comic Book Day because we do the show, so that's not a big deal for us.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
But and I
right,
assume we're
no.
doing the show beforehand and then back to back. We talk about that or not?
I think Kelly's big enough. We can probably just do that, but we'll talk about it.
I might be able to get my books then in the morning.
Sorry, man. I didn't mean to jam you guys up on that. I apologize.
No, you're good.
No, that you're great. I forgot that was actually Free Comic Book Day.
Special 1 p.m. start time.
Kelly Thompson, she's probably one of the only creators who's available on a Free
Yes.
Comic Book Day because she doesn't do public appearances.
Right.
So can't wait for that.
Just putting it out there. Special noon, 1 o'clock start time, and
Yeah. Oh, I get
people
to
can go get
sleep
their
in.
books in the morning.
Show off their hauls. I might even try,
Yeah,
depending
same.
on how things shake out and what we're gonna do.
Dirk was never invited back.
No, of
Doesn't follow the
course.
rules. Put you on blast, changing the showtime on Free Comic Book Day.
The showtime was gonna be 1 because Kelly lives on the West Coast.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yo, chat is going crazy about this announcement. That's beautiful to see. I love that.
I may have to tune in live for my signing at Pack Rat Comics in Hilliard, Ohio, outside Columbus. You might see me jump
Put us
in
on
from-
TV. They got a TV in there. You just put us on. Put us on the boob tube.
Oh, I forget about this newfangled technology, this casting they speak of.
Different kind of casting, not spells, but
Oh, well, see, that's what always confuses me.
Right.
Just try to do like the Doctor Strange hands or.
Here's an announcement that is for a very specific segment of our audience. But I know there are a lot of them. So this one's for you. Dynamite is also publishing Ben 10 #1, and we all know that because the Ben 10ers in our community won't shut up about it. What I didn't know, what you probably didn't know, and what I think everyone should be excited about, regardless of whether you care about Ben 10 or not, is that as of now, the Ben 10 #1 has over 82,000 orders from shops.
wow.
Now, that's coming from the mouth of Nick Barucci himself, who is the CEO of Dynamite. He says the initial orders were at 6,000 units, and these days, initial orders are about 25 to 30% of FOC numbers. That means we should have sold between 18.6 and 24,000 copies. But as we've released more information on the series, orders were picking up even before final order cutoff. That shows how fans and retailers reacted to the information that was rolled out and how great this series is. And I truly think that the book is under-ordered and maybe hard to get in comic stores for fans who did not pre-order it. If fans did not pre-order the new #1, they should reserve copies now. So, in addition, we know that 13,000 of those copies sold were blind bags because this issue is getting a $10 blind bag initiative.
I think they have.
$10?
I think they have 2 issues in them. Dynamite's done. Yeah, Dynamite's done these like $10 blind bags for a while.
Yeah.
What? Wait, so you get 2 within the same blind bag?
I believe so. Yeah.
That was my impression too. You get 2 issues within the blind bag.
Oh, hey, wait a second. That's
Like
not bad at
two
all.
different covers. Yeah.
Shit. Yo, I'm pumped for this. I grew up with Ben 10. So getting to see this, Ghost Freak, anybody who knows, shout out. One of my favorite guys.
Ghost Freak. You made that up.
Yeah. No, dude. Bullfrag is another good
What are you gonna
one.
tell me? There's a guy called Forearms?
No, he's got a better name than that.
Oh.
But yeah, this is exciting. This is cool. And from a number standpoint, impressive that this this is one of those situations where I think it falls into a very comfortable, at least nostalgia bait for me. This coming back in this format as well, I think is very fitting for the character, and for the story. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I have no relationship to Ben 10, but what I love about this so much is what I see from our Discorders and um our community who are so passionate about this. This is the first time that something has come around that I have no relationship to whatsoever,
Mm.
that I can see the generation just after me being crazy about. And it's actually really fucking cool.
Yeah, I know that Ben 10 is one of those things. There's always been like a certain what I would have considered like a cult fandom for this, and I'm past it. We've established I'm the old, you know, and I heard these numbers, and I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be fully transparent. I was like, is this insider training? Is this rigged? Like,
Yeah,
what's
part of me
going
was like,
on?
this feels astroturfed. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, are they just trying and follow the dork hype here, and then all of a sudden like blow up the numbers on this book? I'm like, what's and I'm not saying Dork was rigged either. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it was like I haven't seen two books come out of nowhere, and no offense to either book or either franchise, but I did not have Ben 10 blowing up on my bingo card. And if
Mm,
you'd have given me 10 titles that were going to pull these kind of numbers, Ben 10 probably would have been 10 on my list of 10 of the ones to have done it. You
Mm.
know,
fair.
So and again, I'm not disparaging the property. I'm not disparaging the readership. I'm saying as someone that's even probably farther removed from this than you are, Sean, I'm pleasantly surprised. And I'm very curious now, like, is this something that I need to look back and check this out a little bit more because I know the fandom is real. I didn't know that they were coming in this hot. That's exciting. That's cool. That's good for comics.
Fun,
It,
Dirk.
it,
Multiple series, multiple films. This is awesome.
the Ben
There's
10 fans
multiple
are ravenous.
films.
Yeah, they're like straight to TV though.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
maybe one or two theatrical.
I don't think so.
How long was the series on TV? How many seasons was it?
There was multiple seasons, but also multiple series. Because
Yeah.
it skips also like times, so he gets older.
Okay.
Then he goes in the future, so there's quite a bit.
The other thing
Uh,
about this that I really want to like drive home for you guys is that out of 82,000 orders, 13,000 were blind bags, but 16,000 were retailer exclusives. So what that means is that retailers, or my understanding of what that means, is that retailers can commission artists to do covers that are exclusive for that location.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like
go ahead.
Jen King's Space Cadets collection. I know she did like a Ben 10. I'm pretty positive it was a Ben 10 cover. I was like, that's an odd. But again, it was like my first inkling of like the first raindrop before the storm. I'm like, that's an odd exclusive, because she also just did I know like an absolute Batman, which to me made more sense. So
Certainly.
right on, man. Good for Ben 10. Good for the Ben 10 fans.
But the thing that I really, really want you guys to get from this is that if you take away those 13 plus 16, which amounts to 29,000 of the orders, if you
Mhm.
take that down from that 82, you're
Still,
still sitting at a number that most comic books do not get to when it comes to their orders. That's super high. So congrats to the Ben 10 fans. We don't know, of course, how numbers 2 and 3 and beyond will do, but issue number 1, you guys have our attention.
yeah, monster numbers. And again, in a book that's designed, I would guess, for all ages.
Mm.
So important. Get people. Now, I don't know how many. Again, I'm showing my age. I don't know how many young readers are still into Ben 10 or if this is just picking up that nostalgia factor from people that grew up with it. But still, having a book out there that I would imagine would be accessible to all ages readers too, when the young readers are coming into the store, what's something they can pick up that's fun, that's hot, that they'll be into. Uh, Things like this, just like Buffy, need to exist in the marketplace. We need this stuff desperately.
I just wanted to shout out a comment from Super Chop, just for any other Ben 10 fans out there. He just had a question. Do I have to read the previous 9 issues, or can I jump in fresh?
That's funny.
Got a number 1 on it, Super Job. How dare you?
Uh,
Common sense. Go
what's
ahead.
the tragic tale of Ben 3? What happened to him?
The
Self-suck
third
incident.
life. This is Ben's 10th life.
Oh shit. Common sense with the 199. Shame Image didn't relaunch M-Rex OG Generator Rex.
Hmm.
I don't know what that is.
Those are side series. Generator Rex was like a companion character. Like
Was he in Ben 10?
there were some crossovers.
Okay.
I don't remember if that's where he starts, honestly. It's been so
remember
many
the
Is he like
years.
the
cartoon.
Usagi to the turtles type of thing? Like
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Purdue, they kind of okay.
Exactly, yeah.
And then Hayden dropped 5 on us and says, reminder that If Destruction Be Our Lot releases the same week as Ben 10. Highly recommend pre-ordering that book after reading the full-size Ashcan.
Mm.
I'm very much looking forward to If Destruction Be Our Lot as well. And maybe I have more reasons for that than just really liking or just genuinely being hyped for the book. You know, maybe
Who's
I
that one
have more
by?
reasons. Oh, it's being written by Matthew Rosenberg.
Oh, got it. Okay.
I liked the discussion about the font, the title font on that book. I mean, a logo design doesn't get enough highlight about what an important art form that is. And I know there's a big discussion about what the title font and what the logo on that book should look like, which was very interesting to me as a creator.
I found that to be fascinating as well. Matt Rosenberg talking about, how there were active discussions with Image about like, wait, this isn't readable.
Right.
And him going to bat and then realizing, wait, they're right.
Yeah. Yep. Let me step back from it for a minute. Yep. Absolutely.
Yep. Just an example of how sometimes you really like as fans, we can say, oh, fuck the editors, all about creative vision. Sometimes these people know what they're talking about.
Hey, we joked earlier about how, my 4 and counting Ring of Award nominations and the Spinneroonie if I actually win a major award. I started winning, not winning, sorry. I started getting nominated for all my awards when I started working with a very strong editor and friend of the show, Drina Joe. Right. Is it coincidence or is it scoreboard? Right. But I go to bat all the time. And one of the things I talk to a lot of our creators about is, and you can even fight with your editor. And Lord knows her and I have gone to the mat a couple times on things, but just having a strong creative partner who has an experienced outside view looking in, iron sharpens iron 100% of the time.
Love that. And Dirk, I think your iron has sharpened our iron all morning long. We have had a great episode so far. We have not freed you yet. Dirk, chat, we're not over because there's still a few things we've got to finish up. One of those is shouting out the rest of our patrons, and Marco's going to take center stage and do an origin. The other is we got to play the GOAT game. And finally, I really want to do a little bit of WrestleMania predicting with Tyler and Dirk. So,
Right on.
here we go. I will get into the shout outs here now. Amin, the Almighty Perez, Houston, the Century Kid Murphy, Young Dende, Faye Fighter, Dawooty, Cosmic November, Carter the Owl Shogun, who I am sure is very happy about the Ben 10 talk, Steve Swarm Canaris, Scripture, the Wardens of the Word, Jack of Some Trades, Caltier, Krista Cure Coleman, Emperor, MD, Johnny, Mad Max Pliskin, Lieutenant Earl Wagnus, the Death Dealer, Jack, Grimstone, Grimmy, Eli the Mothman, Patrick Zay, Captain Chris, Ray Lytle, Superjob, Into Gray, and joining the Palsverse for the very first time, we've got Ash. On you, Marco.
Ash falls from the sky through plumes of smoke. It covers the forest in a grayed blanket. Amongst the trees are the charred remains of a house. Guts exploded from the inside out. Strewn about the scorched grounds are former signs of life. Picture frames full of now blackened faces, singed pages of journals, and a doll still hot with cinders. At the center, two masses, one petrified in soot, the other the bubbling remains of someone who was. All is quiet as the smoke continues to dance. Large pillars are formed, then more. Soon, shadows start to appear within the smoke itself, as whispers are heard through the forest. Quite suddenly, encompassing the remains of the house, there is a flash of heat, light, and the faint echo of a blood-curdling scream, and poof, nothing again. But we turn back to the house, where the petrified man of soot begins to tremble. On his right hand, his fingers curl, a shoulder jerks, and cracks form. The head begins to creak upward. Where there were once eyes, soot clears, revealing smoldered charcoal. This ashen body lurches forward. From behind the smoke, a third figure appears, dressed in a black leotard. A pointed tail slithers, and it speaks like tar. I'm going to try this. I've done it. My flame golem. The soot man looks up and begins to reach out. And as it does, the arm falls off. Ha! Laughs the creature through a creased smile. Like an ashed cigar. I do apologize for the collateral damage. The soot man looks over at the bubbling mass again, then pictures about the house, and lastly the doll. He struggles to stand. No need to move any further, golem. As you come into this body, you will soon be of great service to me in the war to come. I am sorry again about your daughter. Eyes widen with realization. The sound it makes is unintelligible and hoarse as memories of himself flood back. He was once Ash, 34, a nuclear engineer. His daughter, Serafina, only 7, and she loved to play house. But now, Ash, still of soot, boils with anger, which in turn makes him grow fiery. Heat radiates, which soon ignites. In the flickering light of the glowing ash, the creature once again curls a smile. I bet you want to kill me. Then remember the name, Bantha the Greater Third Demon of the House of Cinders. In 6 months' time, I will be back to see you and how you've gotten along and begin your trials. Oh, and in case you refuse, from within the leotard, a glass orb is pulled, and Serafina is seen within it, sleeping peacefully. Ash's eyes widen in disbelief and misguided hope. Take care, Ash, golem of House Cinders. I'll be watching.
That laugh scared me. I don't like that part. That's my one note. It made my butt pucker.
10 out of 10 on the story.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
I knew Dirk was going to be on this one, so I wanted to give it that horror tinge. And the listener
Yes.
did ask for a Swamp Thing-esque sort of origin. So, the fire born. If you're listening, I hope you liked it.
I mean, 4 out of 10 on the laugh.
Oh, okay.
You should have hydrated, quite frankly.
Well, I
Oh,
mean,
true,
to be fair,
true,
if it's a demon, they're probably not that hydrated.
Well,
Fair.
that's true. It was a little creaky, a little bit, a little
Okay.
pitchy,
Yeah.
pitchy. I think is that the podcast term, but
I like how Marcus is trying
that
his
was
best,
awesome.
and me and Dirk are like, not good enough.
no, just no. That was great.
Constructive feedback is what it
Yeah.
is.
You got to commit to that laugh, but no, that was excellent. And I loved, because I was thinking when you were reading about like this, like a golem type thing, and you actually mentioned a golem. So that was big money.
Thank you. Thank you.
True, sincere applause. That was excellent.
If you would like your own origin story and entry into the Comics Pals Palsverse, The only way to get that is to join us over on patreon.com/thecomicspals. Click the join the Palsverse tier or greater, and you will be put in the queue to receive an origin, a queue that is long, and we are actively working to get through. But thank you guys. It's a good problem to have. So really appreciate all your love and support. Andrew Dunson drops 199 and says, King Spawn, if destruction be our lot, it's Rosenberg season. Hell yeah, dude, I agree. Overdue.
Another grinder. Another grinder.
Big time. Yeah, big time. Want to play a game?
Okay, Jigsaw.
Jigsaw could come up because we are about to play the greatest of all time game, the GOAT game, as it is known.
And Dirk, you're in this.
Yes.
I will follow the rules. I promise. I will do it right if I land on this.
All right.
Now, the way it works, for those of you who don't know, is Tyler is going to operating a randomizer, and that is going to determine which of us, what combination of us, has to argue for why the character who is randomly selected is the greatest hero or villain of all time.
We're doing greatest.
Yeah, let's do it.
Who's it gonna be?
I'm mildly terrified.
Andrew Dunson says, add Marco learns the internet to the game of rotation.
Well, Sean, you're safe because it's me, Dirk, and Marco.
Oh, wow. Oh. This shit feels like Mario Party when it's shuffling up to see who's going to be on teams. I'm out. I love it.
Oh. All right. Which character is it is the question.
Oh, no. I was hoping to sit this out. Okay.
Same.
It's fucking Dazzler. Let's go.
Wow. I want it to be the woke game. It should have to be the fucking woke game for Tyler.
No. Okay. You guys can go first.
How many seconds? 30 seconds?
It's going to be 45. Yeah. Dirk or Marco, who would like to kick us off?
Margo, I hate to put you on blast because you just did such an amazing story a moment ago, but I think that also means you're in the zone right now.
Yeah, you're warm. Yeah. You're warmed up.
I'm feeling it.
Warmed up.
Right. Put me in.
When you start yapping.
Dazzler, a premier mutant, Allison Blair, and one of the, if not only, I didn't know. I know this one. One of the few. Damn, I lost my train of thought now.
I'm gonna pause it.
That's my fault.
I'm gonna restart. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Cancel and start again. Starting now.
Dazzler, one of, if not the only musical mutants, Allison Blair, is the greatest of all time for not only maintaining her power to be something that is used for good on behalf of the X-Men, but also as a performer. She has had multiple solo series, one of the few mutants to be able to support that. There are many, but one of the few women to be able to support that. She is, and for that reason, she is the greatest of all time. Also considered to be a gay icon. Can't slay more than that.
All right. Okay. Gay icon, Dazzler.
Straight character, Dazzler, gay icon.
Hey,
she's a queen.
Yeah, that's true.
That's right. That's fair. No, that's legit.
Dirk, you are up, my friend. Your timer will begin whenever you start talking.
Hold on.
Oh yeah.
Prop comedy, love it.
Okay. Dazzler, the GOAT. Zero debate, zero question. I will go to my grave with this headcanon that Taylor Swift's career is based on Dazzler. Okay. When you talk about someone that by all metrics from an outsider looking in should not be successful, multiple series, has never had a gritty origin or retcon told of her. Icon in multiple subgroups of people, right? Uh, Someone that has stayed true to themselves from the beginning. And also, again, just that strong creative spirit. And the fact that Dazzler can be a
Time's
hero.
up. Time is up. Time is up, and it is Tyler's time to shine. Tyler, I'm sure, is going to try to sway you guys here now. So the question is, Tyler, what's your pitch?
Dazzler, also known as Allison Blair, is the greatest character of all time and also the greatest mutant of all time. Her ability to use her mutant powers to manipulate light and use that in a positive way for not only for mutants, but also humans. Dazzler is one of the most well-liked mutants by humanity across. So she's a great shepherd for the mutant cause. One of the characters to actually also debut in a non-comic was actually created as a used to make vinyl records. I think there's a small a B-side record of her that was used to create her character that she appeared in Uncanny X-Men. So multimedia appearances as well. Greatest hair in comics, greatest face paint in comics, just a true icon that I have multiple action figures of for no weird reasons, I swear.
Okay. That is all the pitches. And the poll is already up. Thank you, Marco, for that.
A normal poll for Marco. Look at that.
Rock the vote. Rock the vote. Let's get those votes in. I want to see a very, very healthy amount of votes. We've got 3 people in the GOAT game. Who sold you on Dazzler? A fact that I'm shocked didn't come up that I know I would have brought up is the fact that Dazzler was the subject, the star of the very, very first ever Marvel direct market comic book. They put all of that on the back of Dazzler, and that shit sold like crazy.
That's right.
Yep.
Guys, what
I worked myself. I got too deep in some other stuff, but you're right.
Yeah.
The fact that she was one of the direct market heroes as well.
Yep.
I'm
Not
always
just a
looking
hero
at
in
one of the
comics.
most mainstream at the time, one of the most mainstream comic book characters.
Yep. While that poll runs, why don't we do a little WrestleMania predicting, shall we? WrestleMania 42 is 2 nights emanating from Las Vegas. Big matches on the marquee. You got Roman Reigns and CM Punk headlining night 2. You got Cody and Randy, accompanied by Pat McAfuck, headlining tonight, Saturday night. CW Gordon says, I changed my vote. Sean wins. Well, I'm not in the running this time around. I think this WrestleMania has had arguably the worst build to a WrestleMania in a decade. And my excitement level is in a middle point because not only has the build been bad, this WrestleMania has been ravaged by injuries. And unfortunately, the actual storytelling has been sort of dog shit. With a few exceptions. So why don't we talk about, I guess I'll run down the card and you guys just give like super brief thoughts, super brief thoughts, and who you think is going to win in each match. So we'll start things off with tonight's card and we'll get into tomorrow. So starting from the Vision, Logan Paul and Austin Theory with I Show Speed versus the Usos and LA Knight.
What?
I love I Show Speed.
I got the Vision winning this.
Yeah.
I've got the Usos winning, which is why they made this a 3-on-3 match, so that the Vision can be defeated and not lose the belts.
And also, I Show Speed is currently cursed by Danhausen. So
that's what I was going to say.
And he's going to take a monster bump.
Yeah,
I'm flipping it. The Usos and LA Knight are going to win because I Show Speed is cursed. 100%.
Right. And he's cursed, and he's going to take a monster bump of some sort.
Yeah. Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre are going to go head-to-head in an unsanctioned match. I think Jacob Fatu desperately needs this win. He just They have squandered him. He needs a big one.
But do you let Drew lose again?
Yeah.
I think he's got to take the fall this time.
Uh,
My heart says Drew. My poker chip that I would put down says Fatu.
it's gonna be Fatu. Drew is leaving to go film Highlander soon. So
Yeah, let Fatu kill him and become a monster. But yeah, they need to put gas back on Fatu. They need to heat him back up big time.
Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan are going head to head for the Women's World Championship. Liv Morgan won the Royal Rumble and is coming to chase and challenge Stephanie Vaquer. This one is one of the biggest toss-ups for me. I really want Stephanie to win, but I actually think I'm going with Liv Morgan.
yeah, I'm with you on this one. They have Liv has been in so many press tours. Like she is like almost one of the female faces of this whole event. She just got a Fortnite skin.
Yeah.
She has a Fortnite skin and Rhea Ripley doesn't, which says something. So yeah, and Stephanie's had the belt since what, SummerSlam? She's had a pretty decent reign on it, at least in terms of time. They maybe could have booked her with a little more feuds here and there, but I have
think
Liv.
this match might steal the show. Liv just dropped a music video. We know how TKO is moving, making these all multimedia stars right now. I love Stephanie. She's amazing, but she's not as marketable as Liv, which for the time being is going to put Liv over and give her the belt.
AJ Lee and Becky Lynch are going to clash once again. AJ Lee won the Women's Intercontinental Championship from Becky Lynch at Elimination Chamber. So she's coming in as the champion with Becky, the challenger. I have Becky winning this. I don't think AJ is full. Like, I know she signed a long-term contract, but I don't think she's full-time. She certainly hasn't been. And I think they put the title on AJ to get her the big hometown win in Chicago. Becky's going to take this back.
Yeah, same reasons too.
Whoever the real question is who's going to be challenged by Paige on Monday.
I've seen. Is that true that Paige signed with WWE?
The rumor is, I mean, it's potential spoiler, so I don't want to spoil it, but she will be in WrestleMania actually, taking over someone's spot in the tag match because Nikki's hurt.
Huh.
That or I foresee Paige being with the Monday Night Return to face the winner of the AJ Lee Becky match. So, I mean, again, smart money's on Becky, but I'm gonna give it to AJ. I don't know why. I don't believe that's true, but that's just where I'm putting my chip. I think by all metrics, Becky should win, but I think we're gonna get AJ to squeak this one out.
Yeah, I've heard that Nikki is going to wrestle tonight in the four-way women's match, which we're about to talk about. The Irresistible Forces, Nia Jackson, Lash Legend, they're the champions, challenging Charlotte and Alexa, Bayley and Lyra, and the Bella Twins, who, as of this moment, are still slated for the match. I think I have Bayley and Lyra winning this.
Me too. Yeah. They're the ones who've had the most TV time about this match. So the story is with them. I think before Nikki's injury, I would have said the Bella Twins, but the story just hasn't been there because they've really kind of been on and off TV.
Yeah, I'd rather even there.
Yeah. I bet you they win it at Backlash or something. Like, I don't think it's a long like I think the Bella Twins will get those tag titles pretty quickly as soon as Nikki can get them.
Are you gonna have the Irresistible Forces drop this quickly?
It's a women's tag titles. Those things are hot potato like crazy.
I understand. Again, I'm going to pick a dark horse pick here. I'm going to say the Irresistible Forces retain, which is going to cause the true Bayley Lyra feud again. Irresistible Forces.
I think that makes sense. Seth Rollins and Gunther. This match is definitely half-baked. Gunther's reasoning for coming at Seth doesn't really pass the smell test, but this is what happens when you have a WrestleMania card that is ravaged by injuries. Still, I say this match could steal the show. I think Gunther has to win. If he were to lose, he'd be 0-3 at WrestleMania, and that cannot be.
Yeah, it's got to be Gunther.
Hard disagree. This is a brilliant retcon storytelling, because this is going to let Gunther cash in his favor to get Brock Lesnar and retire Brock at SummerSlam.
I think that's true, but I don't know why that means he has
He's
to
going to
lose
go
this.
in. He's going to kick the hell out of Seth Rollins. He will, whether or not Gunther. I think there's a possibility Seth could actually win this match, but I think Gunther's going to put such a beat down on him that he's going to soften him up for Braun Breaker's return tonight, and Braun Breaker just wrecks Seth. And then win or lose, Gunther's going to be able to go to Heyman and say, I did the job for you. I wrecked Seth. Now give me Brock Lesnar, and I'm
Sure.
going to retire his ass next. So I'll say, but I will say, I'll put it on paper. Gunther's going to win, and then Gunther's going to go on to go up against cash in his favor to get Lesnar at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think Gunther wins, but not clean. I think that's how you keep Seth somewhat protected. I think Braun makes a run in some capacity because I know he is apparently good to go at this point.
Right. You got to be careful. You got to protect Lesnar's or protect Gunther's favor. But again, I think a Braun Breaker run-in is inevitable. And again, I like the retcon storytelling here that this now gives us Gunther and Brock. So I'm good with this one.
Cody and Randy are going to main event the show for the undisputed WWE Championship. Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes have a long history with each other, but WWE decided that Pat McAfuck had to be included in this. This is a TKO decision. TKO, aka WWE, also has a meddler. In this case, his name is Ari Emanuel. Anyway, I think Randy Orton will win this because if he doesn't, Pat McAfee has said he will leave wrestling permanently. And while we all may want that, I don't think that's going to happen.
I think it will happen, and he'll just rat fuck his way back into wrestling. I think Jelly Roll is going to make a run and knock out Pat McAfee. It's going to be just the celebrity match, which it sucks for Cody because Cody's such the face of the company, but all of his Mania matches have been fuckery.
They just don't have. Someone up top does not have faith in Cody for whatever reason to carry a match solo, despite the fact that he's drawing huge box office.
Oh,
I am going to say Randy Orton wins and then RKO's McAfee after the match anyway.
I would love that.
And
I'm surprised.
Becomes a super face, and we start the slow heel turn of Cody Rhodes finally.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm surprised you guys say that Cody's WrestleManias have been fucky. His one with Seth was awesome, and then of course arguably the greatest WrestleMania match of all time from a spectacle standpoint is Cody and Roman.
Oh yeah. They won't let Cody stand on his own in a Mania match.
Mm.
But I see Orton going over. I see Orton is going to become a baby face whether they like it or not. RKO McAfee, bounce him out of here, and then you start the slow turn with Cody.
I think I'm with you, Dirk, but in the opposite direction. I think they have so much faith in him. That's why they're giving him the shitty shit. They're like, we need to put this over. We need the entertainment. We trust you.
Okay.
And that's why like they had The Rock kind of what is in his whole fucking feud, which made things weird. And
yeah.
Let's shift.
That could be a show in and of itself. I was talking about all that. So
You know what, guys? I think I think the real champion's gonna be me, because when I get through with them, I show speed's gonna be running slow. Jacob thought too. Jacob, fuck you. And you know what? Seth Rollins and Gunther gonna be rolling around in their fucking coffins, guys. I'm gonna be the champ. Cody Rhodes is gonna be on the road when I get through with them.
Where did you get that?
I'm the champ. I don't know what you're talking about.
Why does the children's belt fit you?
How do you have a children's WWE championship around your waist?
Wait,
where the fuck did you get that from?
How do you know it's a children's?
Hey, look at it around your waist.
Because if it wasn't a kid's, you'd be on your wrist. Yeah.
Right, that would barely fit around my leg.
Yeah. That's a cock ring for me.
Whoa.
You hogging.
Sorry.
I'm the champ. That's why I got it. They're taking it from me.
I appreciate I'm not the only one who will make one-time purchases for bits.
Oh, actually, but my cousin gives these away to his students when they do a really good job.
Okay. And you did a good job?
He took it from a student that could have enjoyed it?
He did. He said, fuck them kids.
Look, as someone that was once the Comic-Con karaoke tag team champion and carried around a fake belt, you are the MVP of this whole thing. To me, that moment right there, the half flex that you even did, I mean, was incredible. I saw it, I see it, I see you, and I appreciate that was a gift for people that have stuck with us the whole show.
Do you know who Jacob Fatu is? But you heard it and you were like, "Oh fuck, you would be good."
Exactly.
Yep.
I have a WrestleMania wish, and that is for us to be done with this before 4 hours. And we are
I'm so
very
tired.
close
I'm so
Okay,
to
what is
tired.
that? Let's go. Let's
doing
go.
that. Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar are going to open the show on Sunday night. It's worth saying that both nights, the first hour will be viewable on ESPN for free. Who do you guys see winning, Oba or Brock?
It's got to be Oba or else they're fucking stupid.
They will take the air out of that arena if Boba Fett
Yeah.
loses.
Yeah.
Especially
He
the
has to
opener.
win.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, set up now a softer Brock for Gunther at SummerSlam.
Penta is going to put the Intercontinental Championship on the line in a six-pack ladder match with Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Rusev, and the late addition, Rey Mysterio. I got Penta winning this. No reason for him to lose.
Correct.
Yeah. I would like to see Javon Evans win, but he'll just be the one that does a really fucky crazy spot. And Penta will retain. Yeah.
Too soon. Too soon. I mean, let Javon cook a little bit more.
Yeah,
Javon's
for sure.
incredible, but you let Penta run with this a little more.
Shu Patel says, can we do a WrestleMania watch along on Discord? I will be in the Discord talking shit with all of you during WrestleMania, but I will also be hanging out with my friends in real life. So I don't know, like it won't be a full watch along on my part, but Jade Cargill is going to put the women's championship up against Rhea Ripley. This one is tough to call. I think Marvel, WWE maybe a little down on Jade lately because her performance as a wrestler hasn't been ideal. But I think if you take the title off of her and give it to Rhea, it hurts Jade a lot. So I think Jade must win.
I think Jade wins and we have a good backlash match out of them where Rhea maybe the wins there.
You turned me on this one. I had Rhea going over, but I think Jade with some shenanigans.
Yeah.
Jade with a run in.
Yeah. She's got a new crew too.
Because Rhea's taken out all of the rest of her crew. Someone else is going to join the Jade posse.
I could see that. Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams for the United States Championship. Sami won the title from Carmelo Hayes in controversial fashion, has been made heel by the audience who boo Sami relentlessly these days. And Trick is the young upstart who's got a lot to prove. He'll be joined by Lil Yachty. Unfortunately, I have Trick winning this. The time is now. Sami is not over with the audience. He needs to turn heel. Trick Williams is the future. Put the belt on him.
Whoop that Trick.
Yeah.
There you
Then
go.
we could
Love
finally do a storyline with Carmelo and Trick.
Yes. The Demon Finn Balor is going up against Dominic Mysterio in the longest gestating feud in the WWE. They have been burning this one for years. We're finally getting it. Finn cannot lose as the Demon ever again. And certainly not to Dom. So I have the Demon winning.
Half comedy match, going to be good. Let the Demon cook, man.
Finally, we have CM Punk defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, this is his, 39th WrestleMania main event. Congratulations to him on that. Roman has said that if he loses, there's no reason for him to be in the WWE anymore. And so because of that statement, I feel that Roman will win, despite the fact that I really don't think that should happen. And I desperately want CM Punk to win his first championship main event WrestleMania match.
I still think Punk wins. And I think that's the story for Roman going forward. Roman is above titles at this point. So I think they need chewier things for him to talk about. Him having no place in the WWE with a movie that he's going to be in coming out and Hollywood talking to him. I think that's the story you tell to Roman.
They've been teasing more bloodline stuff again as well. Which is why I think it's so weird that the Usos got stuck in kind of this weird three-way opener. But this to me has been the toughest match of the whole thing to call. And ultimately comes down to what, and Triple H said this, what's the story next? Punk wins.
Yeah.
Punk wins. There's more story there with Punk winning. And again, you could have some real interesting backlash from Punk. Again,
literal backlash.
Oh yeah, literal backlash. Punk wins.
I'm gonna align with that because there is the Braun Breaker of it all, and I do believe he is the next world champion. and he needs to beat CM Punk for it. Roman and Braun can be a WrestleMania main event down the line, but he needs to beat CM Punk because he has to get his win back from the January edition of Raw, the first one of the year. So that's that. I think we're all in agreement on that. That is us having covered the entirety of the WrestleMania card. If you will be watching it, hang out with us on Discord and talk about it. We've got a wrestling channel there. Would love to hear from you guys. I'm going to end the poll now that we let run for a very long time. Tyler wins with 40% of the vote related to who convinced you that Dazzler's the GOAT. Dirk Manning was next up with 23% of the vote. No one was 20%, beating Marco again, who does the job. Marco does the job to nobody with 17% of the vote.
You're going to do that to the champ?
That's like the Sandman versus the Invisible Man last night.
Yeah.
Wait, I could watch this on Netflix.
Tyler, but Marco,
no.
You know.
Oh, damn.
You can watch it, Marco, on ESPN for free for the first hour. Then after that, on ESPN Plus.
HBO?
You got to pay $30.
Not HBO.
Oh, my God.
And then cancel it.
Yeah, exactly. Dirk, I'm sure that you will be glued to your seat for WrestleMania. WrestleMania this year will likely be longer than this episode, but not by that much. So I know you're capable of hanging out for the long haul. Brother, let us know where the people can find you, what they should be looking for from you and SourcePoint Press.
I'm going to plug again tomorrow, the free Discord. We're doing a writing seminar that you very graciously invited me in to help pay it forward to everybody. I'm really excited about that. I'll be in the Discord tomorrow. If you want to stay in touch with me on social media, I've really been trying to up my Instagram game. At Dirk Manning, you go at Dirk Manning, look for the picture of the guy with the top hat and scarf. I'm very active on Facebook. Like I said, I'm trying to do better at Instagram for a guy who doesn't like photos. DirkManning.com. I have a monthly newsletter once a month, first week of every month, all killer, no filler. I write a real email, no AI. Like, here's what's going on. Here's where I will be next. I would love it if you'd subscribe to that, stay in touch that way. And lastly, I'm going to do a throwback again to earlier in the episode. Check out those SourcePoint Press creators doing amazing creator-owned graphic novels on Kickstarter. If you can just start to reallocate your budget and just back one book a month on Kickstarter from creators, you're making a huge difference. You're breathing fresh air into everything. And if you're a comic creator doing creator-owned work, SourcePointPress.com. We are only doing creator-owned graphic novels. We're not doing any single issues, but we do work with creators that we give your graphic novel a place to land, if that's what you want to do. Our submission guidelines at SourcePointPress.com are offensively transparent, right, about what we do, what we're doing for creators to help get you distribution for your books. Check that out. And thank you guys for having me on. This always just, man, it fills my heart to be on with you guys. I love chopping it up. And thank you for having me on.
Always a blast to have you with us, brother. Ace Guerrero in the chat says Tyler has no belt. Marco still wins.
Let's go.
Ace, thank you
Marco's
for breaking
the people's champion. You are the people's champion, Marco. You may not know what that means.
I don't have a belt. You're right.
But and Tyler, I mean, don't get me wrong. You won.
I did win, yeah.
Hey, unequivocally.
So that means, Marco, I'm coming for it. I know where you live.
Try. You can try.
I would like to see that match. Also, Ace, I love the Deftones profile image there. For us, for the Comics Pals, tomorrow on our Discord, Dirk Manning, free workshop, going to be amazing. On the 21st, I neglected to announce this earlier, but I'll say it now.
Oh, yeah.
On the 21st, which is this Tuesday, we will be joined by industry legend, juggernaut, one of my most anticipated interviews in the history of the Comics Pals. Paul Levitz is going to come on the show, and I can't wait to pick that brain.
He's going to come on and name every member of Legion of Superheroes. It's going to be like one of those early Mr. Beast videos. Yeah.
So that should be a blast. That is when you will next see our faces. But of course, on Monday, you can watch Pals Previews. Thursday, Pals Polls at 8 p.m. Then before you know it, we're right back here Saturday, 10:15 a.m. Eastern, for another edition of the Comics Pals. Thank you so much